Here for Cover1 Live. Hey, a good ball game here in Snyder, Texas. And check out Tate Yardley to Blaine Palmer. The state champs, the reigning state champs, getting it going. About a 35-yard touchdown. 7-0 Jim Ned there in Scurry County. Week 5 starts right now.
Who say they want it? Who say they ready? See, you might not like it, but you gon' respect it, cause this is West Texas. Who say they want it? Who say they ready? Hey, coach, they might not like it. See, you might not like it, but you gon' respect it, cause this is West. I said it's game time. Hey, coach, they know it's game time. You know it's game time. I said it's game time. Come on. Hey, coach, they know it's game time. Hey, who say they want? We want. Who say they ready? We ready. They might not like. We like it. But this is West Texas. They gon' respect. First the praise up, so I deserve every moment that I'm out on the field. I've been in practice all week, so you know what it is. We ain't come for the win, boy, we came for the kill. It ain't all about the oil, boy. So why here we here? But this is West. We for nothing but the Lord, boy. So when you come play us, we might rip out your heart and send you back home with some bruises and scars. Hey, put me in, coach, cause I'm ready to ball. I see the fear in his eyes like he already lost. You know I came with my AK. Defense hitting hard like a freight train. We got the crowd going crazy. Running school colors in the stands look amazing. We don't need permission for the trophy, we just take. And the only way to get to the top comes from hard work and a lot of dedication. I said it's game time. You know it's game time. Hey, coach, they know it's game time. You know it's game time. I said it's game time. Come on. Hey, coach, they know it's game time. Hey, who say they won't? We won't. Who say they ready? We ready. They might not like. We like it. But this is West Texas. And they gon' respect it.
And that's the bottom line because Cover1 said so. Hey, Manny Diaz here repping Cover1 Live here on SanAngeloLive.com. Hey, we have an amazing show tonight alongside the partner in crime, Matt Trammell. We'll get to him just in a bit. He's getting things ready and squared to go here in just a few moments. But I tell you what, folks, storylines galore here in Week 5. Not only do your San Angelo Central Bobcats get Little Southwest Conference play, a.k.a. district play, started tonight against Frenship, which, by the way, right now, 7-7 in the first quarter. From what we're hearing from San Angelo Stadium, it's all about the QB keeper. We'll get to some highlights here of that one, plus a huge game out at Ratliff Stadium tonight between Abilene High and Odessa Permian. This game last year, it ended up with Permian falling to Abilene at Shotwell 27-25, so you best believe this is a revenge game. Tonight, we're going to break down the nuts and bolts of this one, why that one is going to be oh so good to watch. Plus, probably one of my favorite games of all tonight. It is Eldorado Sonora, Battle of Highway 277, Part 2. First one was Cristobal, Sonora. Tonight, Eldorado, Sonora. And the kid from the QB1 from Eldorado, Korbin Covarrubiaz. This kid just balling out of control this season. The Eagles, they're ranked in the top 10 this season, sitting 3-0, coming off just a dominating win of Wink last week. We're going to get to highlights. We're going to break down this game. And we're going to compare, we're going to play a little fantasy football here, so to speak, with some of these guys because we have some ballers out here in West Texas. Another one of those cats, Jim Ned's Xavier Wishart, his Jim Ned Indians taking on Snyder tonight. We're going to compare these guys and see how, if they were going head-to-head, what these teams would be looking like. So, plus, we'll give you our picks and our over-under spread lines that Matt Trammell has coined up himself. The Trammell lines are back and ready to go. Speaking of Matt Trammell, I know I'm doing a lot of talking. Let's get to my man, my partner in crime here tonight.
Manny, it's here. It's district time for those big 6As. And I'll tell you what, I'm excited. But don't let the district beginning get a hold of you. There's still a lot of good play in non-district play, starting with the Jim Ned Indians and the Snyder Tigers. Why don't we just check it out and see how the Snyder Tigers answered the Jim Ned Indians on that touchdown?
Right on. All right.
So after a complete drive, they got the Tigers all the way down here. Handoff to their big running back. Going to make a couple miss and a touchdown, Manny. Tied at 7 apiece.
Woo! The Snyder Tigers there of Scurry County. not going soft on the reigning state champs, Trammell.
No, definitely not. And this was probably the very first actual true test that the reigning state champion Jim Ned is going to actually have. This Snyder team's good. They're 3-0. They're 4-0. Excuse me. They're 4-0. They're both 4-0. So let's see who can come out undefeated tonight.
Wow. Okay. So there we are. The kids from Scurry County giving the reigning state champs, the defending state champs, a ball game so far, 7-7. We're going to check in with that game. Boots on the ground. Tony, let's come back to the desk. In the meantime, let's kind of set the table. Let's unpack what we have going on tonight because we have just some exciting ball games. And I'm repping the Austin 316 shirt tonight. I love me some WWE, and if you're old enough to remember, the WCW, the Monday Night Nitro, the Monday Night Raw, the storylines of the wrestling days were phenomenal. We have coined up some great storylines tonight because these kids are ready to just take control of Week 5. And I tell you what, there's some good ones to say the least. All right, our first matchup. Tony, let's gear up Sonora Eldorado. Let's kind of bring this one up here.
Who say they won't?
And this one...
Who say they red? See, you might not like it, but...
If you come back to camera 1, Tony.
Hey, so, Manny, I'm really excited about tonight's matchups. We have a Central Homecoming. We got the Jim Ned Indians in an undefeated matchup. We got so much stuff to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, and on top of that, it's homecoming night there for the Angry Orange. All right, Tony, take down upstream key 1 on that. All right, so our first matchup of the night, first preview, as you can see on your screen, presented by Nuke's Eatery, Sonora v. Eldorado. Trammell, read me that over-under on there real quick.
Give me 1 second.
Actually, I got it right here.
Yeah,
Over-under on Eldorado, 59.5. Last week, Eldorado scored over 70 points. So, and I think combined there was over 112 points scored between Week and Eldorado.
Right.
So Trammell,
I think we got a tougher matchup than what we got. I think one of the reasons is maybe James Bellini got in my head. This is a tougher matchup than those guys in Wink. They don't know those guys. They don't have a history with these guys. This is a battle of 277 right here, man. You know all about it. You're from Christoval.
Sure.
You know how you knew those guys from there. And
well, making Christoval part of the battle of 277 is a little different now. But this rivalry goes back to, gosh knows how long ago. Right. This has been played for years. But what's interesting, all of us, it's all across the board, the Eldorado Eagles. Trammell, you're saying 59.5 points on the over-under. That what's going to happen tonight. That means...
It's a pretty big score.
Yeah, so that means that's combined points, folks, what Trammell is saying. That both teams will be so Trammell, are you taking the over or are you taking the under in this one?
Well, man, I set the line. So, but I can't contradict myself. I think that's going to hit, man. I think everything I said is going to be exactly right.
Okay, well, I'll take the over.
All right.
I think they're going to score more than 59.5 tonight.
That's it.
I'm going to write that
possible.
down. I'm going to write that one
down. Write
it down.
Well, fine. And I'll just take the ops.
Yeah, okay.
We'll let you take these.
All right, so moving on to the next one, Jim Ned Snyder. In this one, we already saw right now it's 7-7 as we speak. But all across the board, as you can see right here, presented by Nuke's Eatery, some of the best sandwiches and pizzas in San Angelo. If you're checking this out, all Jim Ned. And as you can see here, the over/under on this game, Trammell says 78 combined points. Already 7-7.
I'm telling you, Manny, this is going to be a very high-scoring game. This is not just a walkthrough for Jim Ned. They've had nothing but walkthroughs, and so has Snyder. They had Lakeview, they had Levelland, they had all these teams that aren't typically very good. But Snyder, although they may not be very typically good, they are very good this year. And Jim Ned, they're extremely good. They're off a state championship, so we'll see what happens. But either way, I think we got a shootout there.
All right, I'm gonna take the under in this one. I think they're gonna keep it under 78 points. I think this one. I think it could get. I mean, they're bound to stop throwing punches, or not throwing punches, but somebody's bound to figure something out down the stretch, at least according to me. But that's just my thoughts here.
Well, both offenses are giving up about 45, or putting up 45 a game.
Okay.
So it's going to be tough. It's going to be interesting, though, because Snyder's only given up 22 points this season.
Wow.
And at the same time, Jim Ned, if they have given up points, they're garbage points. So
Absolutely.
it's going to be very interesting to see how the defense is playing this one.
All right, our next game, Odessa High v. Midland. This is the start of Little Southwest Conference play here in West Texas, which means we get started with this one here. Now, traditionally, I guess not traditionally, but, as of years past, this game hasn't been as good, when you talk about these teams, Midland High, this is a state championship team from years and years ago, has tons of pedigree, tons of tradition. As of late, they have not been that good. Odessa High, kind of the same boat. But I tell you what, these guys been balling out. They've been balling. Certainly Odessa High, I believe they're 3-1 on the season. Midland Highs, they're coming back. New head coach. So, we see a little bit scattered here. This is not a unanimous pick. I myself, Joe Hyde, Yanis Green, Sonia Ramirez Munoz, all going with the Dogs tonight.
But
Trammell,
your boy, there is a little bit of difference here, Manny. So, unlike y'all, y'all done your research, but I'm telling you, there's something special about this Odessa Broncos team. The coach that went over there has really got that grind-out mentality, and let's go throw the football and put some points on the board, which you have not seen from the Odessa offense in quite a while. This Odessa Broncos team is they're putting up a lot of points. And this game's very important because, as we saw last year, these are the losers. So this is basically their district championship.
Sure.
It's like, who's not going to be the crapper? And I think at the end of the day, it's going to be a decently scored game, and I got Odessa just
It could be a
out
good
in
one.
this
Trammell, you're setting the line at
55 and a half.
So,
All
you know what?
fives.
I'll take. I'm gonna take the under on that one. I'll take the under on that one. We'll revisit
I'll live with
that.
it. I'll live with it. I'll live with the over. I'm telling you, these.
We'll revisit
the
that one.
Odessa Broncos. They're a
the
whole nother.
only Broncos in America.
Yeah, they're definitely a whole new ball club.
One of a kind. All right, Abilene High v. Permian. This game had revenge game written all over it. And I'm surprised. Well, I'm not surprised to see that Trammell goes against the grain in this one. This game looking like a good ball game here. We'll get into the nuts and bolts of this one here, but all across the board, everyone picking Mojo tonight. Trammell going with Abilene High. In fact, his line says the over/under setting at 52 points.
Yeah, it's gonna be a low-scoring ball game. Don't expect a big turnout. The clock's gonna go really fast. This game's gonna be over by 9 o'clock, and they're probably not gonna get started till 7:30. Man,
I got you.
It's gonna be a heavy run game. Last year, the Permians were expected to roll the Eagles, and at the last minute, magic happens.
Yep.
And at that point, that honestly ruins the chances for Mojo to get a district championship. This time the Warbirds have to go to Ratliff, but at the same time, they might know their number.
Sure.
And with just them knowing how to play against running offense because they do it every day in practice, I think they might be able to pull this one out.
Yeah, two good football teams here, two historically good football teams.
Plus, Manny, if you want to catch up in the picks, you have to go with against the grain sometimes, so you can get the dub when everyone else gets the L.
I feel you on that. I can mess with that one there. All right, so I'm picking the under on that one. I'm going with the under, so we'll see what happens in that game there. All right, our main event, our big game that we are watching tonight, we have boots on the ground. We'll have highlights of this one shortly, is San Angelo Central v. Frenship. And this one, not all across the board Central here. In fact, Yanis and Sonia, they're going with the Frenship Tigers tonight.
And the thing, that's our scorebook people. Those people are the ones putting in the scores every week. If anyone knows how the games are played,
they may know a little
something.
something. They may know something more than we do. And Trammell setting the line at 62.5. Yeah, over here, Sonia over here just harassing us, ready to get this going. So, but right now, I believe 14-7. Right now, Central leading in this one so far, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, 14-7 with about 11:03 left in the second quarter.
Yeah, but just a heads up, Frenship is driving right now.
Okay, all right, we'll take a peek into that one here in just a few moments. All right, so that wraps up our Nukes pregame picks. We'll revisit these. In fact, in that, I'm going to take, what did you say, Trammell, 62.5? I'm going to take the under. I'm going to live safely on that.
You don't think we're going to light it up here at San Angelo Stadium tonight?
I don't think so.
It's homecoming.
I don't think so.
All right, well, just to prove you wrong, Manny, let's go out and check out some highlights from San Angelo Stadium. Check out We Got Boots on the Ground. Thank you to Mr. Joe Hyde himself, the future county judge of Tom Green County. So let's get to it. Right here, the Frenship Tigers are definitely driving the ball. Just a little throw, dump off right here to the tight end, and going to get the ball all the way to the 10-yard line. So next play, we got a little technical error, but next play, quarterback keeper. We'll get it pulled up. You want to go back to me? Next play, we got a quarterback keeper, Frenship Tiger touchdown, and the score is tied at 14.
All right, so all 14. It's 14 all. They're from San Angelo Stadium, so we'll see how this one kind of evolves, so to speak. In that one there,
we can go back to it. Let's go.
Let's go back to San Angelo Stadium, and let's. So I'm assuming this is how Frenship got on the scoreboard here.
That's
Check
right.
that
So
out.
just a wide receiver coming across.
Well, it looks like it was just a QB keeper.
Yeah,
in that one.
wide receiver coming into motion, fakes the handoff, keeps it, goes right up the gut, and that's a touchdown.
Nice.
So 14s.
All right, Tony, let's come back to the desk here. All right, so we're seeing all 14s from San Angelo Stadium. And this one, these next this game and the next two games for the Bobcats are supposed to be somewhat, I'm not going to say gimmies because I'm not going to disrespect these other teams of Midland High, Odessa High, or Frenship, but these are games that perhaps Central should win. That these should have higher chances of winning as opposed to Midland Legacy or Odessa Permian. So I think, we're seeing something that's very interesting, how things are kind of evolving in this game here. And the Bobcats, I tell you what, these last few weeks, they have just been throttled before the end of the first half. This week, they're kind of in a ball game. We'll get to some of these angles as to what we're kind of looking at here in this season. Or actually tonight here in Week 5. In the meantime, we do have some Odessa. And Tony, if you want to get ready to take camera 3, it looks like it is Abilene High with the rock here. And check this one out. The lean looking to get something started right here in this play. It was 7-7 Abilene. Look at this one. Abel Ramirez finding his guy. Touchdown, Abilene High.
Big time play there, Manny. I'm telling you, this Abilene High team, they're not playing around. I think they took that butt whooping by Abilene Cooper and really took it in on themselves to figure out how to become the best team in Abilene, and I think that's what we're going to see tonight.
Yeah, I tell you what, Abel Ramirez, this kid, known for doing some work on the ground here, showing what he's made of through the air. About $132 left in this one, or I guess they're in the first quarter. Into the first quarter, so yeah. Tony, let's come back to the desk. All right, so interesting showdown there at Ratliff Stadium, the historic Ratliff Stadium there in Odessa. I'm looking forward to seeing how that one shakes out because those are traditional powerhouse teams. Those are traditional rivals that are going head-to-head there. And, you can't say the Little Southwest Conference without mentioning those two teams, Abilene High and Odessa Permian, some big battles over the years.
Definitely, Manny. And if you think it's just offense for the Warbirds, I don't think so. If you'll check this little clip out here, it'll show just a little bit of what their defense can hold on to.
What do we got here in this one?
So just a typical Mojo play. We're going to run the triple option. He's going to keep it, though, and just pitches and goes nowhere. All over it all night long, and we'll see if it can continue for Abilene High.
Yeah, I know the black shirts are Odessa Permian. They're the Panthers tonight. But the one thing about Abilene High, they refer to that defense as the black shirts, a la the 80s and 90s teams of Nebraska. And I tell you what, that Abilene High defense looking like the black shirts of yesteryear, from the late 90s, early 2000s, and Man, that's a huge stop there, what Abilene High is doing tonight. So we'll see how these guys continue to evolve. Big game tonight with that. They're at Ratliff Stadium, 14-7. Abilene, the Warbirds leading the Panthers in the second quarter. All right. So in the meantime, let's go ahead and take a look at some of our angles, our storylines of the night. In fact, we're on the theme of Abilene High in Permian, and some of these big angles here involve some big time guys here with some of this. Certainly Abilene High, the QB1, as we saw in that. And Tony, you take down upstream key 1 on that one there in the preview. Let's go and take a look at some of this here. So this is kind of setting the table. Senior QB1, Abel Ramirez. This guy is just a baller, and has this been balling out of control. 58 of 111 this season, 638 yards passing, 3 interceptions, 3 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Now make it 4. Rushing, this guy 350 yards rushing, 6 touchdowns. This guy had a huge role last season against Odessa Permian. Passing for over 200 yards in this game, in this matchup last season. So these guys come into play. Tony, let's come back to the desk here.
Well, Manny, you said 3. You can go ahead and say 4 now, as we saw. This guy, A.B. Ramirez, he's going off. I mean, he's running the ball, he's passing the ball, he's doing the whole thing, and he's not on a traditionally best team around. So what he's doing, he's balling with what he got, and he's doing as much as he can right now against the Mojo Panthers.
He's doing what he can. All right, Tony, let's cue up the Permian angle here. And I'll tell you what. So we looked at that Abilene High offense. How about this Permian defense? Because it's going to be a war between these two teams here. And the guy to watch for on this Mojo defense is senior linebacker Jackson Dorothy. Yeah, solo tackles 25, assisted tackles 21. 11.5 tackles per game that he's averaging. Tackles for loss, 9 this entire season. This guy is coming to play. I like what he's doing. We're going to see this matchup here. You always love to see what that linebacker and that QB1 matchup there. Who's going to outsmart who? Who's going to outdo who in athleticism? And I think this is a good one right now. Right now, A.B. Ramirez certainly getting the best of Dorothy and those Permian Panthers tonight. So big game there to watch for. I know we're going to keep our eyes on this one. I'm interested to see what Abel Ramirez is going to do tonight against this Permian offense, this Permian defense. Right now putting up 14 on these guys. They're on the road against Ratliff. Mind you, Abilene High, now if you want to talk common opponents of the San Angelo Central Bobcats, Amarillo Tascosa has pretty much just run the table in the Little Southwest Conference with the exception of Midland Legacy. They have beat Amarillo Tascosa, has beaten Abilene High, Odessa Permian, and San Angelo Central. Only loss in the Little Southwest Conference is against Midland Legacy. But the big thing, what I'm getting at with this, folks, is Odessa Permian, Abilene High. These guys, they've seen a lot of good football this season. They've seen a really good team like that. So I'm almost certain that they're using what they saw against Tascosa. They have a lot of the same offensive features as Odessa Permian. I'm going to go ahead and say that they're probably using that game, that loss, as some fuel tonight against Mojo. So we'll still see kind of what happens down the stretch of this game here. All right. So in the meantime, what do we got, Tremel? Anything useful that we got from?
Well, Manny, should we just show our viewers just an extended highlight?
Yeah, why not?
Just an extended drive highlight. Just kind of drop you in the game what it looked like a little earlier tonight from San Angelo Stadium. We have boots on the ground at San Angelo Stadium. We're getting highlights from everyone, and Central was knocking on the door here a little bit ago. So let's see if they can get it done. So remember, this is just a little bit ago. Central has the ball and they're driving. Got 2 receivers up to the top and 2 backs behind. Tyler Hill takes the snap and just kind of drives it out there. Decides to keep it himself, make a couple miss, and dive for the end zone. He misses it, but puts his body out there on the line. Just tries to get the touchdown. Man, what just a good try there, but don't worry, it is 3rd down, but it is 3rd and 1 as they are knocking on the goal line. The Bobcats.
All right, Matt Trammell giving us the goods here from that one there. Trammell, what's the updated score with that?
We can go to it right now if you want to see a really updated score.
Yeah, let's go back to San Angelo Stadium there. Tony, let's bring up the wipe on that one there from Berkshire Hathaway. That should be the very top one because these guys are bringing us the goods. There we go. All right, so let's come back to that one there. Boom. All right, Trammell, gear us up there.
So just a handoff right here. You know the guy all year long, Samuel Navarrete. Hand it off. Get there. 1 yard. Touchdown for the Bobcats. Dude, they're putting it on the Central Bobcats. Or they're putting it on the Frenship Tigers. Sorry.
All right, so I
think that's an updated score
right.
of
let's come back to 21-14.
21-14.
21-14, your San Angelo Central Bobcats leading Frenship as we speak. All right, so I'm interested I'm looking forward to see how the Bobcats kind of rebound after just two tough games against very good opponents. Austin Vandergriff, a ranked Class 6A opponent, and Amarillo Tascosa, a top 10 ranked team in the state of Texas in Class 5A. So 20-14, your Bobcats leading Frenship as we speak. All right, Trammell, we have anything going on from Snyder tonight?
Trying to get some updates. Last update we had was 3:49 left in the second quarter. Tie ball games at 7. Manny, looks like the defense has definitely showed up to play tonight.
Okay, all right. So we'll look forward to that. Okay. In the meantime, Tony, we do have some other angles to get to. Let's get to this one here between we're talking San Angelo Central and we're talking Frenship tonight. These guys, the big matchup that we're looking forward to seeing tonight. Yeah, Tyler Hill has just been balling. I mean, Tyler Hill, Sammy Navarrete. These two guys have just been doing some great things on the field offensively. But I think tonight we're gonna see what this Central defense is made of, and this is kind of the matchup that I'm looking forward to seeing. Tony, cue the angle there, the storyline, so to speak. And this is about this defense because it's time to eat. This defense averaging 37 teams are averaging about 37 points, give or take, against the Bobcats defense. As you can see there, almost 700 yards passing, almost 1,000 yards rushing against this Bobcats defense. Heck, Tascosa put up almost over 500. The Central defense has 4 interceptions, 1 takeaway on the ground. But mind you, what the big thing is, you see on the notes down there, Amarillo High, they sacked the Frenship QB1 last week 7 times. I'm interested to see tonight if the Central defense can get to that Frenship QB1 tonight, get some extended pressure on him, whether the secondary is playing a role in this game and keeping the coverage tight, or if that front 7 can make some big plays. I think it's going to come down to these guys because Trammell, the Bobcats, they need some defense tonight.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that the Bobcats don't really have this season, as we've seen, is they have to rely heavily on their offense, and it worked out for 2 games, and it really did not work out for the other 2. So very curious to see what's going to happen tonight. So far, we've seen not a lot of defense by either side, so maybe we go into the halftime locker room and fix some stuff up. But I'm excited to hear what Chadwick has to say at halftime.
Absolutely. All right. Another game that we're kind of keeping an eye on tonight is Jim Ned and Snyder. And this one, you mentioned Jim Ned these days just because you have the luster with them because they're the reigning state champion of last season of Class 3A Division I. They're in the same district as the Wall Hawks. Tonight, let's take a look and see what we got on tap with these guys this season. These are offensive stats here. Can Snyder slow down the state champs? And offensively, these guys are putting up averaging about 43.5 points offensively. The most they've scored this season, 56. The leaders, running back senior Xavier Wishart, 71 carries this season, over 700 yards, 9 touchdowns. I tell you what, averaging, look at these, 194 yards rushing, averaging per game with that. This dude's like the Texas high school version of Derrick Henry, so to speak. So, tonight, I think it's a bat. I think what we see out of Xavier Wishart, this dude is certainly going to play a huge role tonight for these Jim Ned Indians. And if Snyder can do anything against these guys, I would imagine it's got to start with, trying to stop Xavier Wishart. That's for sure. All right. Looks like we do have an update from San Angelo Stadium. Let's go out to there first, let's check in with Matt Trammell because I know he's got something. He's watching this one pretty closely.
Well, definitely, Manny. We've seen the Central Bobcats just score. It seemed like it was only a few seconds ago, but Frenship has answered. This is a high-scoring ball game. I set the line high, and it looks like I'm right so far. We'll see if things can keep going. But let's check out this touchdown. So quarterback just hand off here, and he's going to take it. As actually gets tackled there. We're just setting up the touchdown here. Remember, this is just an extended highlight brought to you by Berkshire Hathaway. So right there, that's exactly what they're doing. The run is just gashing the Central offense, Manny. It's not. They haven't had an answer for the run game, and I feel like right now, if they don't get a fix, it's going to be a shootout that it's just going to be up to a chance to win. So next play, quarterback takes the ball and just keeps it, and he gone. That's a 30-yard touchdown by the QB1 for Frenship, and that's going to make it 21-20.
Man, all right. The Bobcats keeping our attention tonight. So that's 41 total points that between the Bobcats and the Tigers.
What's my line at?
The line is at 62.5 that you set that, Trammell.
Well, we still got a way to go.
I took the under. I didn't think we were going to get this. I thought the Central defense would be, wanting to wave the flag there and, plant a flag in the ground and do something against these Tigers tonight. But, man, the game's not over, so we'll see what happens here down the stretch of this ball game, so to speak. All right, let's check this one out here. So let's go to Grande Communication Stadium. We talked about this one. Midland High, Odessa High. Tony, if you want to take this one here. Right here, and we're going to show you it's early score from Odessa High, Midland High, and let's see it. Midland High QB1 just taking matters into his own hands. That's a touchdown. One more time for the early lead. Look at that. Blocking just right. Good stuff there from the Bulldogs. 7-0 Midland High as they lead Odessa High in that one. Tony, let's come back to the desk.
Good thing that I went for the Bronchos and they have a good comeback. Here comes the comeback train, Manny.
Yeah.
Tell you what.
Well, I know Isaiah Garza, he's kind of like our Permian Basin correspondent, so to speak. This guy, he's efforting a lot of good stuff for us tonight. So
yeah, and he seems to know about it, man. When he hops on those our Zoom calls, he's really knowing what's up. So y'all stay tuned, and we'll get to hear from Isaiah about those games down there. Manny, we didn't get to see the very first touchdown of Eldorado Sonora, but Eldorado did score. They did not get the field goal, made it 6-0. Now we're looking at Sonora knocking on the door.
So wait, it's 6-0 right now, Sonora leading?
6-0 right now, Eldorado leading. But Sonora is knocking on the door. Let's check it out.
All righty. So, Tony, that is camera 4 if you want to cue that one up there.
All right, Manny, you didn't think that it was going to be close, but I promise you these Broncos have just a little bit of fight in them, just a little toss to the outside, get to an open lane, and get in the end zone. That's a touchdown.
Yeah, let's look at that one more time there.
Sonora.
So this, 7-6?
Yep, makes it take the lead. Take the lead and 7-6.
Wow, okay. So these Broncos, that is
something we weren't expecting, Manny, but that's what we like to see. I told you that they've known each other for too long not to have just a little bit more fight than Wink did last week. So 7-6, Broncos are up in this one.
Man, okay. And we were just about to talk pretty highly about these guys. In fact, Tony, let's come back to the desk because we have a big angle to check out with Eldorado and Sonora. And I know we were showing you some Sonora. We just showed you a Sonora highlight there. The Bronco Nation kind of taking the lead in this one. In fact, let's kind of show you kind of what we're watching with this game and what if we were Nostradamus, if we were putting, if we were kind of molding our own crystal ball with this here. Tony, let's take a look at our preview with Sonora and Eldorado, because this one, I mean, it has the makings of a pretty darn good ball game. Yes, the angle. Because for one, this one, if we look at what Korbin Covarrubiaz, and here it is, folks, this guy is the true difference maker. Look at this, 781 passing yards this season, well over 250 yards rushing per game, or passing. He's averaging about 260 yards passing per game. QBR, what about 118.2, 10 touchdowns, only throwing 2 interceptions, rushing 325 yards, rushing
and
8
touchdowns on top of that. He has 18 touchdowns through 3 games, man. They had 1 game canceled.
Yeah,
There's no one who's doing it like that.
That's what the Sonora defense is up against, and this is what they're looking like. So far, teams are averaging about 27 points per game. The lowest point total they've allowed is 19. Giving up probably about they're actually getting through 3. They've gotten 3 sacks this season, 6 INTs, forced 4 fumbles, and recovered those.
10 turnovers through 4 games is pretty good.
So I mean, and then we're seeing these guys kind of come to life here a little bit, and we're seeing certainly that Sonora offense kind of saying, "Hey, don't forget about us," taking that early 7-6 lead. So. Man, this one has the makings of a pretty darn good football game tonight, so we'll see kind of how this one shakes out. But I am very excited to see what Korbin Covarrubiaz is going to be doing tonight.
If you are excited, Manny, then I got just the highlight for you. Korbin Covarrubiaz saw that touchdown and apparently put a little fire in his pants because he went off. I mean, it was probably only a couple plays into the kick after the kickoff. Let's check it out.
Tony, there we go.
So Korbin Covarrubiaz, he takes the snap, and of course he's down there at about the 40-yard line, throws a dime, and it's a long touchdown, Manny, about a 50-yarder.
Yeah, that's finding his rodeo man, Cooper Metter, and yeah, just a dart.
Dude, look at that release. Look at that release right there.
Nobody wants that smoke.
Man, no one wants it. You couldn't get it if you could.
Yeah,
if you
couldn't even get it if you tried.
So that's a touchdown for Eldorado, and that's going to make it 12-7.
12-7. So I'm assuming they're probably trying to go for 2.
The 2-point, no good.
No good. So perhaps Korbin Covarrubiaz was listening to us on the sideline as we were just talking about him, because this guy says, "Hey, we're here. We're the guys that just are ranked in the state of Texas. We're not ranked for nothing. We're coming here to ball out of control tonight." So Korbin Covarrubiaz, if there's a fantasy football, Texas high school football matchup,
that guy.
Yeah, definitely pick that guy. But if there was a fantasy football matchup, if there was ever one, it would be Korbin Covarrubiaz, QB1 for Eldorado, the Xavier Wishart, the running back for Jim Ned. Because those guys are just putting up stupid numbers this season.
Hey, I'll throw that Tascosa running back we played last week, man. Yeah. That guy had 4 carries for 250 yards.
I mean, looking at the stat line for Tascosa last week,
goodness gracious,
they racked up over 500 yards rushing, Trammell. I mean, who does that?
Well, the guy who's about to go to Notre Dame, that's who does that.
Trammell, what do you got for us? I think you're trying to cook up a San Angelo Central highlight.
I don't have a highlight yet. We got a timeout in the action, but the second half is winding down already, Manny. Can you believe how quickly this is going? And just as quickly as that, it's halftime in Snyder, Texas, 7-7, Manny. Would you ever believe that?
Oh, my gosh.
Right?
That is insane. And, I tell you what, I bet anything the Snyder Tigers are playing this game like it's their Super Bowl, because you're not only taking on, but you're hosting the defending state champions of Texas of Class 3A Division I, Xavier Wishart, Tate Yardley, a lot of these guys from last season, and you get a chance to knock off the champs. So why not? Why not with that? So, hey, we do have an update from Matt Trammell, courtesy of Berkshire Hathaway. It is our Central Bobcats look-in. Tony, let's go check out.
So Manny, dude, I said there was a timeout, and I thought it was very well needed for the Bobcats as things are winding down in the second half and things are moving not in the right direction, especially for the Bobcats. So I'll show you the very first play that happens out of the timeout.
All right, let's check it out. Courtesy of Berkshire Hathaway Home Services.
So Central Tiger football, the ball's on about the 38-yard line. We got trips to the left, running back to the right. The quarterback's going to take the snap. He's going to just go ahead and keep it, make one miss, and that's about 37-yard running touchdown by the quarterback. That's number 2. Second one in a row that's been more than 25 yards, Manny. They can't stop this guy.
Wow. This is coming from a guy that was sacked 7 times last week. Apparently, he about had enough of that. He probably gave the butt chewing of a lifetime, or at least the offensive line coach gave the butt chewing of a lifetime to that Snyder or that Frenship Tiger offense. But this dude just running wild tonight.
Yeah, Manny, and he's got to be at least over 100 yards at this point.
That's insane.
It's about halftime. You see the band there. The score right now, that makes that one 28-20.
Wow. Okay. Hey, meanwhile, we do have an updated highlight from Grande Communications Stadium. And this one, at this point here, let's go out to there. Midland High, Odessa High. It was 14-7. 14-7 before this play happened. QB1 here. Check it out. Midland High saying, hey, we're here to play. Look at that. Over the middle, dropping a dime. Touchdown, 21-7 Bulldogs. Let's take one last look at this here. Fake the handoff. Looking one way. My man. Finding this guy right over the middle. Tony, let's come back to the dash. 21-7. Midland High leading those Odessa Broncos there in the Permian Basin.
Hey, it's not over, Manny.
Ooh, boy. Okay. I see what you're cooking up here. Do we have a Sonora?
I've been giving it to you quick, Manny. I'm telling you, this game is moving fast. I promise you this game is going to be better, and I know that I was probably wrong on this line because it's going to be more high scoring. Manny, the Sonora Broncos are putting it on the Eagles. Can you believe it?
So wait, say that one more time. Let me check my ears.
So Covarrubiaz threw the dime. Oh my gosh. Oh, look how quick he throws that. Oh, it's just the media melting over it. But that's okay because the kids from Sonora are here to answer. Let's check it out.
So Sonora v. Eldorado. I gotta love the graphics here tonight.
So Manny, courtesy of old Caleb right here. Look at this dime. Right in the bread basket. That is a long touchdown for the Broncos. Manny, look at this right in the bread box. Look. Ooh.
So what does that make it, Trammell?
That right there is going to make it 14-12 as they are the ones who can make their extra points.
Woo, okay. So 21-12, Bronco Nation leading Eldorado tonight. Mind you, this is Eldorado's homecoming. The kids from Sutton County trying to rain on that parade tonight. 21-7. I tell you one thing, Trammell. I did not see this coming. I thought Korbin Covarrubiaz was just going to have a field day with that Sonora defense. And one thing that's very, very unique about this Eldorado or this Sonora offense this season, they're getting away from that old school wing T offense that they were running for the last few years under their old ball coach. Now they've gotten a new guy that leading the charge there. And I tell you what, they're back with that spread. And as you saw with that highlight, doing some big things. 21-12, is that what the last score?
No, 14.
14-12. Okay, so man, oh man, what a ball game from Schleicher County. Man, the Eldorado Eagles are just throwing us for a loop tonight. We'll see if Trammell, what did you say? Well, we said the line. You set the line at 59.5.
Right. In my defense, I didn't think it was going to be this high score.
We could be. I took the over on that one. And I'll be honest. I was anticipating Eldorado just ready to go off on those guys. So we'll see kind of what happens with that one there. All right. Let's see. Trammell, hey, are you ready? You want to do some check in with some scores tonight?
I'm in because I got a really interesting score for you, Manny.
Okay. I'm always down for that.
Halftime at old Ratliff Stadium. What do you think the score would be?
14-7?
21-7.
21-7.
Abilene Eagles.
Abilene Eagles. Okay.
The Warbirds are going to stump all the San Angelo Live football experts. And Matt Trammell, the guy who doesn't really, know anything but just to talk his head off, is going to get it right.
Hey, before we actually go to some scores, let's check out that last touchdown that made it 21-7, Abilene High. And because, folks, this one, if you ask me, I think it would kind of have been a toss-up. Yes, I got this one here. I got this one, Tony, here on the old computer here. So this Abilene High, Odessa Permian. This one kind of somewhat of a toss-up if you would have asked me. I'm siding with Permian in this game, but look at Abilene grinding this one out. Tony, take off the rotation. And as you see, the kids from the lean with the rock, A.B. Ramirez finding his guy right over the middle, all by his lonesome. It doesn't get much easier than that. Let's take a look at this one more time. So this is, we're calling it about, from 25 yards out. And this one, simple little play action. AB finding his guy over the middle.
Dang, man.
Wow.
Oh, that's a big one right there.
21-7, Abilene High. The Warbirds of Taylor County.
Can they upset Mojo once again?
I think they can. I think they can. Although I picked Permian. Tony, let's come back to the desk. I picked Permian to win this ball game tonight. But I've covered Abilene High for so many years. I got my start in Abilene, covering the Warbirds, covering the Cougars, covering the Bulldogs over there. And I tell you, there's something about the kids on the north side of the lean that they've got a little something extra over there. So interested to see what these guys can do tonight.
Manny, you know all about Abilene area. Mm-hmm. So I'm guessing you probably cover those Jim Ned Indians.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, we got somebody who's there right now. My man, James Bellini. He's here. James, what's up, man?
Not much. 7-7 ball game. It's a good game.
Yeah,
it's a good game.
I thought this thing was going to be high scoring. What are you seeing down there?
They're holding Wishart pretty well. He's only probably got about 30 yards. Everything is on Snyder's side right now. All the momentum. They went into halftime with a big third down sack that backed them up. Everything's going Snyder's way right now.
Well, what do you think they need to do, or what do you think one team needs? Has there been turnovers or anything that needs to happen? Has there been any magic that has happened, or is that what needs to happen?
I think the offensive line for Jim Ned needs to block better. They've been getting in the backfield pretty regularly. The defensive line for Snyder. Snyder just needs to keep doing what they're doing because they're putting on pretty well. I know it's a 7-7 game, but Snyder is outplaying them big time.
What has been the most impressive thing you've seen so far?
That sack was pretty impressive there at the end of the half. That was he stuck with the play and stuck with the quarterback, and it's a coverage sack.
James, is it surprising to see Snyder leading Jim Ned in this one?
I'm kind of surprised. I thought Jim Ned was going to run away with it, and they're not. Snyder is stepping up and playing well.
So everyone on our San Angelo Live picks picked Jim Ned. Now that you're there, now that you know what's going on, do you wish to take your pick and maybe throw it on the other side of the ring?
No, I'm sticking with my pick.
All right.
I made my pick.
Well, Manny, then you heard it there, so we should all, I guess, stick with it. So that's been James Bellini. Thanks, James. We'll probably hear from you here in a little bit. If not, we'll hear from some coaches.
All right.
Thanks, Bellini. We'll catch up with you after the game in this one. All right, so James Bellini, he's our boots on the ground there in Scurry County watching a big ball game. And right now, if this one this is somewhat of an upset right now. It's upset alert there in Snyder, with the Snyder Tigers leading the defending Class 3A Division I state champion Jim Ned Indians 14-7 at the break. So big ball game, good ball game out there in Scurry County. Meanwhile, Tony, we do have highlights from Eldorado via camera 3. Ready to go is Sonora Eldorado. And so we've seen some things going on with these guys tonight. And we have 2 highlights here, mind you. And check this one out. So we have Sonora off a kickoff here.
Oh my gosh.
Field in this one.
Almost made it all.
Okay.
Made a little breakaway.
There is a little something here. Eldorado with the rock. Covarrubiaz doing some dancing, doing what he does best.
Okay.
Off to the races.
That's what we like to see.
Yeah, let's take a look at one more time. So this puts Eldorado into Sonora territory. We're going to kind of see how this one develops, because it doesn't look like these Eagles are ready to drop an L on homecoming night. Tony, let's come back to the desk. All right, so this one, a very good ball game. Don't sleep. I've been picking Eldorado all night tonight, saying so much about Korbin Covarrubiaz and his Eldorado offense tonight, or this entire season. But right now, the Sonora Broncos are keep making it interesting. So we'll kind of see what happens in this one here. I'm assuming we might have an Eldorado touchdown. In fact, what do we know? We do have an Eldorado touchdown.
Of course, Manny. We're not just going to pitch it and not come through with the thing.
Hey, Tony, there we go. Sonora Eldorado here. And I tell you what, we were talking about Korbin Covarrubiaz. Look at this cat go right here. Yeah, take it in for a touchdown.
So don't worry, guys. I'll put this one on my back. Let's go ahead and get it.
No biggie. 2-point conversion, no good with this one here.
3 in a row, Manny.
Yeah.
That's something to look about. If this thing gets to 6 touchdowns, then you're already down a touchdown.
Yeah.
So.
All right, Tony, let's come back to the desk. All right, so that makes it, the missed 2-point conversion, that makes it 18-14 Eldorado. And Tony, looks like we do have, if we want to go to the Zoom call there on 4. And Trammell, it looks like we may have Ryan Chadwick ready to talk some Bobcat football.
Man, he's probably not very happy with the way it is, but he's probably happy with the offense. I don't know. Let's just ask him. Chadwick, what's up, my man?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Well, it's going. It's going. We got some scores on the board. We're not too far behind. What are you thinking? First, tell me about the offense. Let's be positive first. Let's talk about the offense. Go.
When the offense runs the ball, they're completely unstoppable. Frenship hasn't had an answer for them all night. It's opening up. It's given Central opportunities to run the play action, and it's opened up the passing game down the field. They've converted some deep passes, but that's all set up by the run game.
Yeah, and then now let's talk about some doom and gloom. What about the defense?
Well, I will say this. In defense of this defense, they are playing
defense of the defense.
Without in defense of the defense, they're playing out without some key starters tonight. So there's to put it lightly, they're struggling.
Right. And what do you think that they're going to make some changes at halftime? Do you think that they're going to make any changes offensively, or do you think they're all going to be mainly just focused on how to stop that QB run?
Well, it's not just the QB run. Like that's all been set up because they can't cover anybody. Like the end of the first half, that's when the QB started getting away with breaking out all those big runs. But like that was all set up by the secondary's inability to even stick on a guy. So I don't know if they need to run a little bit more man, just try to get some one-on-one game going. But like their zone has holes. They're getting no pass rush. Like they're just moving the ball at will. I don't even think that the quarterback has an incompletion yet.
So the last week, the team that Frenship played, Amarillo High, they ended up getting, 7 sacks, Manny?
Yeah, 7 sacks, Amarillo High.
That's been one of the strong points of the Central defense is that front 7. Have you seen them try to make an impact in the game?
They have not gotten enough pressure, but that's partly because by design. Frenship's running a lot of wide receiver screens. They'll just snap it and throw it immediately. That's one of the reasons why the quarterback is completing absolutely everything right now. So they've kind of taken the Bobcat defensive front out of the equation, if you will. Like, they can't get a pass rush going if the quarterback doesn't hold on to the ball. And then just poor tackling. The tackling in the run game is absolutely atrocious, and that's where those long runs are coming from.
Okay, so let's talk about it. It's the first district game of the year. You got a quarterback who has played a district game before, but not as a quarterback. How poised? How's Tyler Hill doing tonight?
Tyler Hill's playing fine. The rest of the offense is playing fine. Like, if there would have been more time left in the first half, I don't even think Central would have started throwing the ball in those last two drives. The running game's working. The passing game's working. I have no complaints with the way the offense is playing. I'd like to see them just get back to the ground game in the second half. Hold on to the ball. Let their defense stay on the sidelines. Maybe the defense can get one or two stops, and it can push the Bobcats over the top. This is still a very winnable game for Central. But they have to get a stop.
This is the last one from me. So I'm from the Lubbock area. I know you like the Red Raiders. Frenship, they're right there. Is this going to be like a Big 12 matchup where it's just last person to score wins, or is this about everyone?
Yeah,
they're about to buckle down in this last half.
I definitely think it's whoever gets the ball last wins. From what I saw in the first half, the Frenship defense locked down on the Central offense a little bit towards the end of the first half, but I don't see that being sustainable if Frenship can't stop the run. So I think whoever has the ball last wins this game.
Perfect. All right, man, you got any questions for old Ryan Chadwick?
I think you got it all. Chadwick,
Y'all
it's
hear me?
always good catching up with you. Best of luck to the Bobcats in the second half.
All right. Thanks, guys.
See ya.
All right, so
Good old internet connection down there in Bobcat Stadium. You gotta love it, guys. You gotta love it.
Internet is just not our friend tonight. What did we say? That was a halftime score. Trammell's 21-20 Frenship.
I'd have to go take a look.
Okay.
But yeah. No, 28-20.
28-20 Frenship leading the Bobcats.
Whether it's a handyman's dream,
Are
a
we
dream
gonna say
home, or perhaps a home on the range, Deersky and Deersky can help you find or sell your next.
Okay. All right. So, Trammell, let's. You about ready to get to some scores tonight?
Let's do it.
All right. So as we get ready for some scores, we'll prepare that courtesy of Deersky and Deersky. In the meantime, we do have two highlights here from Schleicher County, a big ball game between the Eldorado Eagles and the Sonora Broncos. And Tony, if you want to get us ready for this one here, and if you just want to take this one. All right, so we have Sonora looking to kind of return the favor from that Eldorado Korbin Covarrubiaz touchdown. And look at this, just making some waves. The QB1 doing some things himself.
Don't sleep on him, Manny. I'm telling you.
And then Sonora, look at this, get close to the goal line. Man, under 5 minutes to go left here in the first half, so some fireworks that we're seeing from this game. Tony, let's come back to the desk. I know we're going to see some exciting things from that one, courtesy of Caleb Price in this game tonight. So let's see. So it's ball on the 1 yard line for the Sonora Broncos. So these guys are certainly threatening. We'll kind of check in with that, and if we do have a score, we'll show it to you as soon as we get it. All right. Let's see. Trammell, you want to do some scores tonight?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So it looks like let's prepare Matt Trammell with the Deersky and Deersky scoreboard. And I tell you what, we have a lot of big games. Certainly the ones that we're watching with San Angelo Central and Frenship. But, man.
But don't let that fool you, man. There's tons of games all across West Texas. And where's the only place that you can get that? Cover One Live, baby.
Cover
That's
One
right.
Live, yes,
so
sir.
let's go ahead and get right into it. Remember, these are the Deersky and Deersky Realtors Scoreboard, the real estate professionals of Texas. Amarillo Tascosa's on Amarillo Paladuro last night. 47-6, Tascosa just continues to wipe out teams across West Texas. Euless Trinity, Hurst LD Bell. That's another final score from last night. 48-0, Euless Trinity. Haltom versus Weatherford, 47-16, Weatherford. Andrews versus Lubbock Estacado last night at the Lowry Field there in Lubbock. Andrews 14, Lubbock Estacado 7. Andrews, that's in Lakeview's district, and remember, they have been struggling early this year. Sterling City beat Happy 58-8. That guy's already final. May versus Blum 77-14. May took that. Halftime right here, Jim Ned Snyder. We have highlights all throughout the night. 7-7, second quarter halftime score there. Man, what a ball game. Crane versus Denver City, first quarter score 7-0 Crane. Forsan, Reagan County 7-0 Forsan. Early versus Grape Creek, those Eagles are losing 28-0. TLCA is in Lakeview Stadium tonight. A halftime score of 7-6 versus Stanton. Lakeview's winning, Manny. That's right.
Look at that.
14-0. Looking at getting their second win or first win of the season?
It's first win of the season.
All right. First win of the season. Hopefully 14-0 halftime. Hopefully I didn't jinx them. Abilene, Wiley, Brownwood. 28-0. The Bulldogs putting it on the lines.
Battle the big country.
That's right. Eden Morgan, halftime score 34-28. What a high-scoring ball game there. Goldthwaite versus Chris Stovall. Manny, the Cougs are down by 1 point, second quarter. What are your thoughts?
Man, you know, they were part of one of the biggest upsets in Texas last week against Roscoe. I think, you know, I don't think there's any time to push the panic button here. Goldthwaite's still a good football team. Lots of tradition out there. I think they'll find a way to get past these guys.
All right, Merkel-Kahoma, 21-14. Merkel's up in that one, second quarter. Kermit versus Alpine, 14-6 Kermit. Odessa Permian right now is down at halftime, gets Abilene High. Manny, hear this, 21-7. The Warbirds, I might be a magician or something, because I pulled a rabbit out of my hat in that one and maybe and hopefully picked that
rabbit
right.
out of somewhere, Trammell.
Coleman versus Colorado City, 41-7. Coleman's up in that one. Midland Greenwood versus Canyon, 24-12. Archer City versus Stanford, 14-8. That's a Archer City score right there. Fort Stockton's beating Pecos 21-0 at halftime. Looking very comfortable in that one. Haskell versus Hamlin 10-0 at halftime. And Arlington versus Arlington Martin. The Battle of Six Flags, Manny, as you can maybe say, 39-10. Roscoe versus New Home, 25-6. Roscoe's up in that one. Dublin versus San Saba, 10-0, nothing, but it's just the first quarter. Lubbock Monterey versus Lubbock High. Monterey's up 34-7. Harper's beating Menard 7-0 the first quarter score. Van Horn Garden City, 27-12. Garden City first quarter. Cisco and Comanche are all tied at 7s. Midland is up against Odessa. Manny, I may have gotten one right, but man, did I miss this one. 28-7. The Bulldogs are up in that one, second quarter. Hawley versus Bangs, 29-0 second quarter. San Angelo Central, we've been seeing highlights from this all night. The Frenship Tigers are up 28-20. Ballinger Llano, Manny, what kind of score is this? 3-0?
Yeah, the Llano Jello Jackets. These guys are a team that made it all the way to the state semifinals last year. Ballinger, tell you what, these guys just hanging around.
I know.
Doing what they should be doing.
Weird
right now.
high school, Texas high school football score of 3-0. All right, Amarillo versus Amarillo Cap Rock. Amarillo High 24 up, 24-3. All right. Post and Slayton are tied at 12, second quarter. Canyon Randall versus Dumas, 24-7, halftime score. Mason's up against Junction, 21-0. That's pretty handful right there. Pampa versus Leveland, Manny. Why do you keep putting these dang Lobo scores up here?
I'm just
It's
trying to
rough.
keep hope alive, man.
It's rough. 38-0, second quarter, Harvesters. Strawn versus Westbrook, 30-20, second quarter score. Abilene Cooper's up against Granbury, 35-10. Water Valley, I thought this one was going to end at halftime, 45-0. That's why I set the line at 52. Looks like I was wrong. Borden County's got a little more fight than that, 24-14. Big Spring versus Clint, 20-16. That's usually about a first-round playoff matchup for those two, right? Paint Rock versus Zephyr, 21-0. Paint Rock's up in that one. Panther Creek versus Very Best. The boys from the Concho Valley, not too far in that one off. 22-13. Hereford versus Plainview, 22-13. Plainview Bulldogs up in that one. Galena Park North Shore versus Madison. Those guys are tied right now, man. You imagine how good that game is. 28-28. Albany versus Anson, 27-2.
Albany's Albany, man. They're just one of the most dominating teams in Class 2A right now.
But to 2?
That's a weird score.
Weird score. South Lake Carroll versus Byron Nelson, 34-7. Bront, man, they're getting their butts whooped by Erie County tonight. Them Longhorns may be done at halftime.
Go Hornets.
Yeah, Duncanville versus Waco Midway. Duncanville's up 28-0, just rolling them early. Eldorado versus Sonora, 28-14. We saw an update from that one, isn't it 21-18?
Yeah, actually the update in that, it is 20-18 Eldorado, or I'm sorry,
Sonora,
Sonora
20-18.
leading 20-18. So this is a back and forth ball game.
Battle of
tonight.
277. All right, Mansfield DeSoto 7-7 second quarter. Holiday versus Breckenridge 7-6. Holiday. Clyde versus Sweetwater. Sweetwater is up in that one 13-7. Cross Plains and Miles 18-13 score as Cross Plains up there in second quarter. Winners versus Heiko 28-0 halftime score. There's these, there's more, there's highlights, there's all kinds of stuff. Just check it out on sanangelolive.com/scores. This has been the score page brought to you by Deersky and Deersky Realtors, the real estate professionals of Texas.
Whether it's a handyman's dream, a dream home, or perhaps a home on the range, Deersky and Deersky can help you find or sell your next home. After all, everything we touch turns to sold. Deersky and Deersky Realtors, the real estate professionals of Texas.
Alrighty. Score page presented by Deersky and Deersky, the real estate professionals of Texas. And I tell you what, man, these Eldorado Eagles, Sonora Broncos, just giving us a great football game here. And we told you that there was an update with this one here from Schleicher County. Let's show you how the Sonora Broncos took the lead, because it's now 20-18. And wow, what a good football game here. Tony, let's get to this one here. Eldorado Sonora, the Eldorado Eagles, a top 10 team in Class 2A Division 2 on homecoming night tonight there in Schleicher County. And check it out, Bronco Nation saying, we're just down the road. Yeah, this is how they did it. A little handoff, little pitch action here. Taking it in for 6, 20-18. Trammell, you set the line here 59.5.
They're already reaching it. It's only halftime.
One more time. This one courtesy of WW AFCO Steel.
So
Tony, let's
that one
come
makes
back
it
to the
that one
text.
makes it 20-18.
Yes, sir. 20-18. Sonora taking the lead in this football game tonight. So a lot of good plays from this game. You know, and these kids right now, one thing's for sure, they're in Schleicher County and Sutton County. They don't know anything about this Eldorado-Sonora rivalry because they've never had to play that throughout the middle school or through much of JV or even our high school. You know, it's their daddies of yesteryear.
Yeah, but I'm sure a couple of them,
it's their
they
family
were telling
members that
them.
know about that rivalry.
Yeah,
so
you
that's
know,
what they're,
all week, Uncle Jimmy been saying,
Yeah.
"Hey, you better not go down there and play like no fool, because I got my friend over there who's gonna call me at work tomorrow, and so
Yeah.
don't play good." So, you know, that it's how it goes in small town rivalries. You know how it is. So don't let rankings be confused whenever
heck
it
no.
comes to small town rivalries in Texas.
Heck no. So, yeah. So, good stuff happening there. Hey, Trammell, if you can, get a Zoom call ready. In the text there, you can text Isaiah Garza, and let's get him because from Grande Communication Stadium, and I believe it was a halftime score, 28-7, Midland High leading Odessa. This is big for Midland High because this is a new head coach they had this season, or to start entering this season. And these guys, you know, they're not wanting to be the forgotten ones on Trammell. He's not in that group text. If you look in the text channel, you see Isaiah in there. These guys are not ones to be ones to be forgotten when it comes to Midland football here, or football in the city of Midland. Midland legacy is kind of dominated for the last few years, staying more relevant than the Bulldogs there. So I would think that the Midland High Bulldogs are looking to kind of, you know, make something happen this season with that.
Can you copy and paste that to him?
Yes, sir, I will.
Thank you.
Alrighty, so
yeah, man, I'll tell you what, this week already has been a whole lot more interesting than last week. Last week we saw a lot of blowouts, including Central, including Lakeview, including Wall, and everybody was getting blown out or blowing everybody out. But this week we have close games. This week we have this Jim Ned game that's going down to the wire. This week we got Central who's going to go down to the wire. Heck, Chadwick said a while ago, whoever has the ball last is going to win the Central game. So
that sounds about right.
This
the way they're
fun.
going.
This is fun. This is fun football. This is what we love. And then there's the other side where Matt's right about the Abilene High Eagles. That's
I knew
what
you were
we
about to
love
come to
say. I mean, heck, this is the only blowout we got, and
it's not a blowout. I mean, it's 21-7.
2-score ball game. I think one more, and
not
one
call
more
it
in a quarter, and I'm calling it a blowout.
Let's not call it a blowout. I think Mojo has a little something left in the tank, ready for these guys to kind of put it together. At least give us a ball game there in the second half. So, whew, man, just running out of breath talking about these football teams tonight. Do we have? I mean, Snyder, Jim Ned. I would assume that we might be getting an update from those guys. We'll check in that one there. I know we are efforting a Zoom call with Isaiah Garza, our Permian Basin correspondent. Isaiah, let's bring him in here into the Zoom call. 28-7, Midland High leading Odessa right now. Isaiah, what are you seeing from this Midland High team tonight that's just making these guys go?
I think, honestly, it's homecoming, you know? So it's Midland High's homecoming. I don't think nobody likes to lose on homecoming. So I think, honestly, homecoming's got them fired up, man, because it's 28-7. It's not looking good.
We're seeing, you know, this Midland High offense do some big things. Who's the guy on that offensive unit that's kind of just surprising you the most tonight?
Landry Walls, quarterback. I mean, he's the real deal. He could throw, he could run. He has command of the offense at the line of scrimmage. I mean, he's legit. You know, he's pretty fun to watch, honestly.
Now, I know Midland's kind of run by Midland Legacy. The artist formerly known as Midland Lee. You know, it's always it's a rivalry between those two teams, of course. You played that once upon a time. But realistically, looking at Midland tonight, seeing these guys, how much of a shot do they have to snag a playoff spot in the Little Southwest Conference?
I mean, they're sitting at, I think, 1-3 right now, but they picked this win up, you know. They right back in the mix. If they could use this as momentum going into the season, I could see them maybe grabbing that final spot, you know, potentially with teams like San Angelo and OHS seeming like they're, you know, 50-50 with things going on around, you know?
Hey!
So Isaiah not giving up on OHS. Abilene High may have a little say in that down the stretch, but yeah, you know, I do like where your head is in with that. You know, they get a win tonight. You never know what happens with them. All right, looking at this, what do you expect from this Midland High offense? Do you expect them to take anything off the top heading into the second half?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that? The band is loud.
Do you think that Midland High is going to take off the gas at all on the offensive side?
No. They went into halftime throwing the ball and scored with a minute left. I do not think that this team is about to take the gas off. If they can put up 50 tonight, that's what's going to happen.
All right, so this is the only game in all of our our San Angelo Live picks, our whole crew picked. And this is the one that's been the toss-up. Your boy did not pick Midland, so is there any chance that Odessa can come back?
Yes, actually, absolutely. They scored at the end, and their quarterback, Diego Cervantes, he seems like he's still really poised and really in control of what he wants to do. So if the halftime speech their coach gave riled them up a little bit. I could easily see this coming into a really good game in the fourth quarter.
That's all the hope I need, Manny.
Isaiah Garza, our Permian Basin correspondent, hanging out with the Midland High Bulldogs, Odessa High Broncos tonight there at Grande Communication Stadium. Isaiah, we will see you after the game. Thank you so much, my man.
Yes, sir. Thank you, guys.
I love that guy. I tell you what, he is a one-time football player of Midland Lee when he played of the Rebels there. He knows what this little Southwest Conference is all about. So the fact that he's giving Odessa High a chance says something tonight, and
Yeah, I think there was a little bias going on there with him saying, Apple said, oh, yeah, like Odessa High, San Angelo. Like, what? Are you kidding me? Don't ever say San Angelo and Odessa High. They're probably mad. Our viewers are probably mad as hell right now inputting us Odessa High, San Angelo Central.
The people out in the Permian Basin, I bet they see San Angelo Central football completely different. I mean, they're probably in just a dome
of just like
Midland Legacy,
what?
Odessa Permian, anything outside of that is just, hogwash. But.
Well, apparently the Taylor County Warbirds a wash tonight. So
they are not 21-7 right now. They're at Ratliff Stadium. In fact, hey, before because I know we're wanting to look in this Snyder Jim Ned football game, but we do have an update from Ratliff. And if you're Matt Trammell, who'd you go with tonight? You picked the
Where we at? Warbirds?
Yeah. Did you pick Abilene?
I'm the only dang one in this office. What do you mean? Yes, sir. Yes, sir, I did.
All right. So let's check into this one. Abilene High with the Rock. Let's go back out to Ratliff Stadium because, folks, we're bringing you gold tonight. Tony, if you want to take that off rotation and put it into the other one here. And we're gonna, if you're rooting for the Warbirds tonight on the north side, you're gonna love this highlight here because the Little Southwest Conference is showing out tonight when it comes to the kids from the north side of Abilene. Look at this! Oh, okie doke! Look like a Statue of Liberty Boise State play.
The little and he makes it. Did he get in?
He got in. That was a touchdown.
The flea flicker. We gotta
Jacoby
love it.
Swearington bringing us the goods from Ratliff Stadium.
Gotta love it.
What a play! Yeah, he did get in. That's a touchdown, Abilene High.
That's tough right there too. That it ain't about getting to the 1 yard line. Anyone can get to the 1 yard line. Winners get in the end zone. Baby.
What a play! Totally had mojo fooled. No mojo magic there. My goodness, 28-7. One last look at this, Tony. Once this play wraps up, we'll come back to the desk. But, man, what a play. In fact, I would say I'm going to go out on a limb saying that's our La Esperanza play of the game nominee right there.
That could be, and that's a nominee right there for the La Esperanza play of the game.
Courtesy of WW AFCO Steel, these guys holding it down for us tonight. So, woo! Trammell, you were the Lone Ranger on Abilene High v. Odessa Permian.
I saw it last year. I think what it is, I don't think that mojo is not good, and I don't think that Abilene High is good enough to really beat teams that are mojo's capabilities. I just think that there's something about those two that just Abilene has their number. It's just maybe whatever they have to practice that week or whatever. If they, they're used to practicing against run teams or what. I mean, if there's anyone in the Little Southwest Conference besides Legacy that has mojo's number, is those guys. And even Legacy don't because they lost last year.
Right. I mean, it's a matchup. I would say Texas high school football, all about matchups,
Yeah.
I mean, you could put some of the best teams against each other, and sometimes, one may be ranked number one in Texas or, highly ranked, but the other one
Sonora Eldorado.
Right now we're seeing it.
Yeah.
We're seeing it. And those matchups are just faring well right now. And Abilene High, I'm kind of singing that George Strait tune. I'd like to have that one back because right now it's not looking good for mojo.
Well, another one that I think is not looking good was what was another thing that we all unanimously picked that is looking really sketchy tonight? Jim Ned.
We got a highlight from Jim Ned?
I think we do.
All righty.
And unfortunately for all the pickers at San Angelo Live, it ain't for us. Remember we asked Bellini if he would take his pick and trade it if he could. He said no.
He's holding on to that.
I bet he's regretting it now. Let's take a look. So after the very first possession of the second half, Snyder has the football, drives all the way down there. And if you just look up here, we got just a nice little pick play, wide open slant, and just go get you one. That's a touchdown for the Tigers.
What's the score out in Scurry County
So
right
this
now?
one, this right here made it 13-7. We're gonna keep it rolling, and we're gonna keep the excitement going, Manny. Because why, if you have 13, why not make it 15? So that's exactly
2
what
points?
Snyder's gonna do. We're not gonna go for the field goal. Instead, we're gonna send in the offense, and we're gonna go for 2. Let's check it out.
Wow. So, the fact that, you got to kick teams when they're down, certainly when you're going up against the defending state champion. Snyder not holding anything back tonight.
Well, as you saw, we had kids running in, running out. There was probably at this sequence 20 players for Snyder on the field. That's because they didn't know what was going to happen.
Look at these guys.
And they thought they were going to run a field goal. They sent the field goal unit out, and then they switched it up. They got the offense running in and out. Look at this, Manny. This wasn't even caught by the guy he threw it to. He threw it back door, tip play, guy in the back of the end zone grabs it. That's a 2-point conversion, 15-7. Snyder's up against the Gymnet Indians.
Okay, so let's unpack this for a few moments here. 15-7, Snyder leading Gymnet right now, the defending state champions. I was ready to just go off with Xavier Wishart stats because that's what we prepared for tonight. Xavier Wishart, the star running back for Gymnet. But I tell you what, I did leave a little something in here for that Snyder defense. And looking at these guys, they're undefeated on the season. They've only given up 22 points this entire season. They've held Slayton to 8 points, Levelland to 7 points, Lamesa, a goose egg, the Lakeview Chiefs to 7 points. These guys, they may be for real. And I think a lot of folks, including myself, may have looked past it. I'm not ready to trade in that pick. But I tell you what, the Snyder Tigers giving us a ball game tonight against the defending state champion and number 1 team in Texas, Class 3A Division I Gymnet Indians.
The Tigers? Who the heck? Who would have thought? Who would have thought?
Who would have thought tonight? What an exciting ball game. What an exciting week 6 of football tonight. All right, so let's see. Hey, Trammell. We were talking, this this non-existent mojo magic tonight.
I think we spoke too soon. What do you think?
Perhaps so.
Well, maybe not, and I'm still going to stick to my bird, but Mojo's answering, so let's check it out.
Tony, if you want to go, yes, sir. So, doesn't look like Mojo's ready to wave the white flag by any stretch of the imagination here. Trammell, take us away. What do we got here?
Definitely, it's Odessa Permian, so it's going to be a triple option. Psych, we're going to throw it out, just a little quarterback or a little running back out there, and
little hitch,
little swing route. Give it to him, let him run.
28-14. Look at that crowd there at Ratliff Stadium.
Oh, sorry, I threw it back on you, Manny. My fault. We're gonna throw it back one more time. So just a little running back swing off a motion. Just find your guy. No one's around him, and it's an easy touchdown. Not even anything. You want to take a look at that stadium down there in Ratliff? Let's go ahead and check it out. Look at them fans. Man. Everyone's getting lit. We gotta love it. There's the Mojo student section. Yep. Love it.
Mojo magic right now. Tony, let's come back to the desk. 28-14. Abilene High leading Odessa Permian there at the historic Ratliff Stadium. Trammell, are we going to get this San Angelo Central game started tonight anytime soon?
Man, we're
I know it's homecoming.
We're working on it. We just got the second half started, so should be working up pretty quick.
Okay. All righty. So, let's see. I know we have let's see. We do have 2 plays to get to here from Schleicher County with the Eldorado Eagles and the Sonora Broncos. And this one we saw, it was 20-18, I believe, last we saw here.
Yes.
So, Tony, let's there we go. You're reading my mind here. Sonora, Eldorado. Let's go to Schleicher County, courtesy of WW AFCO Steel. Korbin Covarrubiaz. I don't know how he got this off, but look at that.
Did.
And then, I mean, somebody finally gets a hat on somebody, and then Korbin Covarrubiaz finding his guy, Cooper Metter, touchdown, 26-20.
And look at that.
Eldorado leading.
Look at that, just little flick of the wrist. Get it in there, quick, tight, in a hurry.
Let's go back to the desk here. Courtesy of WW AFCO Steel. So 26-20 at the break. Eldorado leading Sonora tonight. In fact, they converted their first 2-point conversion of the game in that last series.
Well, it's about time, man.
It is about doggone time. So
3 out of 4?
Yeah. So let's,
1 out of 4, I guess.
Let's check the Trammell lines here. So Trammell, you said you were giving the over/under in that one 59.5.
You took the.
I took the over.
It looks like you're getting close.
I'm getting close. So right now we're at 46. So we are very, very close. We're about 3 possessions. It's about 3 possessions away from that, more or less. So exciting stuff there from Schleicher County. Homecoming night for the Eldorado Eagles. Man, a lot of good stuff. In fact, folks, we were kind of talking about this. We've been talking about storylines. I meant to put it in an email, but tonight these are my notes. I don't know if you can see those there. In fact, it'd probably need an ISO on that, but they're just a lot of interesting things there. Probably the most surprising game tonight, Snyder, Jim Ned. Did not expect to see the Tigers doing what they're doing to the Jim Ned Indians, the reigning state champs, the defending state champs, right now leading the Indians 15-7 in Scurry County. Trammell, are we awaiting a San Angelo Central highlight?
We're back at San Angelo Stadium. Some stuff has gone on since halftime. Some things have gone crazy. But just like Chadwick says, it doesn't really matter because we're going to score every time we touch the ball, and so are they. So here's just an example of that. Ball from the 35-yard line. We're going to send that fullback in a motion. Tyler Hill's just going to take the ball, look down the field, and find a man for a wide-open touchdown.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Run that back, Trammell. So the Bobcats, we're seeing a whole lot of Frenship tonight, which is kind of unexpected. And, man, Tyler Hill just kind of standing in the pocket there.
A lot of poise. Find your man. Make it happen.
What number is that, Trim? I can't see that. Can you see that?
11 or 17.
All right. So the Bobcats, do we dare see if they go for 2?
They did go for 2, and the 2-point was no good. That's going to make it... So last time we looked, it was 35-30. So I think that's 36-35.
36-35.
Either that may not be an official score. Give me a second.
All right. So we'll kind of stay with a little bit of that game there, courtesy of Berkshire. We'll come back to the desk and we'll kind of revisit that one. So courtesy of Berkshire Hathaway, a lot of exciting games coming just on the slate tonight. We're seeing San Angelo Central, Frenship, just in a fight. This was a very close ball game there. Trammell is efforting an updated score from that one as we speak. But another game that we're kind of watching is certainly out at Ratliff Stadium with Odessa Permian trailing Abilene High 28-14. That's a pretty good way to get the little Southwest Conference started. This little Southwest Conference season started. District season starting tonight for these guys here in District 2-6A in that one there. So meanwhile, hey, as we kind of get ready to go through some more highlights, let's take a quick commercial break. We'll get ready to hear a word from our friends over at Berkshire Hathaway. These folks have been kind enough to bring you coverage of the San Angelo Central Bobcats all season long. Let's take a quick break.
We know people in sales who tell their clients what they want to hear.
But at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, Addresses Realtors, we're not driven by the end transaction. We want a lifelong relationship with our clients, which means sometimes we have to tell our clients what they need to hear. Our industry-leading team of real estate professionals is ready to help you find the home where you can enjoy life's biggest celebrations and smallest moments.
When you open the door to your first home or your forever home, we want to be there with you.
And while we may be a brand with international reach, we remain locally owned and committed to the San Angelo community.
Our company is built on the principles of trust, integrity, longevity, and stability.
At Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Addresses Realtors, we are honored to be your forever agents.
All right, Berkshire Hathaway are proud presenting sponsors of San Angelo Central Bobcat football tonight and throughout the season. Thank you to them. Meanwhile, the Bobcats, they got on the board. Their last touchdown there, Tyler Hill finding a guy for just a very extended touchdown to make it 35-26. Frenship is still on top, leading the Bobcats 35-26. But the Bobcats, turned around and lined up as they were going lining up for an onside kick.
Well, it didn't exactly look like they were going for the onside kick. The initial lineup makes it look as if they're just going to kick the ball deep, but they tried, and we'll check it out. We're only going to give y'all one look at it. We'll let you know why here in a little bit, but looked like it was going to be deep, but just ended up kicking it onside. They jumped on it. It's a big pile. At this point, it looks as if the ball is for Frenship. But during the play, a Central Bobcat player was hurt. As of now, he's still on the floor, so it might be a second. So all prayers to that guy.
Yeah, certainly. Hopefully, he gets up and able to kind of move around a little bit. But man, scary moment there from San Angelo Stadium. Wishing.
It says our guy on the field says it looks like a leg injury.
Okay. Alrighty, well, we'll come back to the desk here. 35-26, Frenship leading San Angelo Central. And folks, I'm kind of out of words when it comes to this matchup here because I really didn't expect Frenship to do what they did tonight, what they're doing tonight. I figured Central, coming off just two tough losses, figured maybe they might be able to get it together tonight. But I tell you what, it's been somewhat the opposite of that. It's been a game in which kind of Frenship has kind of been in control for the most part, and they're leading right now 35-26 to open Little Southwest Conference play. And Matt Trammell, looks like you might have something between Snyder and Jim Ned here,
dude. This game is getting really interesting, Manny.
15
last
to 8.
time we checked.
Yep,
last time we checked 15-8, but Jim Ned has the football. But I want to let you know that the Snyder Tigers are holding tight. Third down, deep in their own end zone or in their own territory. You can stay with it. It's okay. I'll play. Deep in their own territory. Let's check it out. Third down, Manny. The Snyder Tigers get this. They're off the field. Hand off and just get behind your blockers. And this man does not care. He's gone.
That looks like Xavier Wishart.
That would be Xavier Wishart. Gone, boy.
Wow.
That's going to be about a 70-yard rushing touchdown for Jim Ned.
Yeah, okay, so finally we get to talk a little bit about Xavier Wishart because this guy's like the Derrick Henry of Texas high school football. If you don't know who Derrick Henry is, Google him right now. He's a Tennessee Titans all-pro running back.
Leading the league in rushing.
Yeah.
So do you see the full pull by double everyone, the counter just finds you a lane, cut back, and if you don't get there and you don't get the heel line on the defense right here, if you're not this guy who's pushing down right there and trying to bust that towards the heel line and trying to clog this counter right here, he's facing there. He finds one cut, cuts back, and he gone, man.
Tell you what, 9 touchdowns entering tonight, make it 10.
That's a textbook way to run the counter
10.
right there if anyone ever want to see it.
And if you want to know more about this guy, we're Encyclopedia Brown about Xavier Wishart tonight. He's averaging 184 yards rushing per game. That's his average.
Yeah, he has 71 carry for the game, 71 carries, 732 yards. He's averaging more than 10 yards a carry.
Those are stupid numbers. Stupid numbers of Texas high school football. Expect to see him playing at the next level. Man, highlights of this game courtesy of WW AFCO Steel. I would say, Trammell, so I would say that's a potential La Esperanza play the game nominee.
Definitely.
For one, we saw earlier the Okie Doke with Abilene High and Odessa Permian with the Boise State Statue of Liberty behind the back. Globetrotters. I mean, these guys just pulling out the bag of tricks there in Abilene. Trim, I don't like when you do that.
I'm sorry,
I don't like when you do that.
I don't have a good poker face for y'all that can't see. I made a wincing face because we're back to San Angelo Stadium. Frenship has the football, and man, today may not be a good night to be a Central Bobcat as the quarterback does it again. Another 25-yard plus run for this quarterback for Central or for Frenship. Let's just see, man. It's not pretty.
This guy was sacked 7 times last week. 7 times. The Bobcats can't get to him.
Not this week, Manny, unfortunately.
I'm a loss for words.
And that's an all-out quarterback draw. Every receiver's blocking. They weren't running routes. Designed QB run for a touchdown.
Wow. Okay. Well, I mean that's how the cookie crumbles. I mean, so that would make it.
I think that's going to put it 42. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, folks, if you're a San Angelo Central Bobcat football fan, you're likely on the ropes because if Central loses this game tonight, the road to the playoffs aren't exactly easy. Midland High is still somewhat of a good football team. Odessa High, don't write these guys off because, well, I mean, for one, Central was expected to kind of play this game and expected to win this football game tonight. Apparently, Frenship did not get the memo as they are leading Central 42-26. I don't know how. I mean, it's going to take much more than
it's
some
going to
kind of
have
speech.
You have to go undefeated after this. If you can maybe drop Legacy, but there's no way you can lose 3 games and make the playoffs.
You play like this against Legacy, you're going to get dropped in the first half.
Oh, if they play this way against Mojo, I don't see it. I mean, apparently Abilene High, this ain't easy, man.
It's getting pretty bad, Trammell. Getting very, very bad. Meanwhile, we do have another look at this Snyder Tiger football game between the Jim Ned Indians. Tony, we are ready to go to that one.
So Manny, we talked to Bellini and we said, hey, do you want to give your pick back? He said no. I said maybe. But nonetheless, look at this. Just a perfect read by a cornerback. Pick 6 on a screenplay after the very first play after the touchdown kickoff. All minims on Jim Ned.
So 22-15, Jim Ned climbing back into this one. What a play right there, Johnny on the spot.
That's just watching film right there. That right there is film. You're saying, I know exactly what play we're going to run right here. Oh, they're going to, right there, I have the flat. Boom, attack that. Good play.
Wow. So maybe this is kind of how the tides turn a little bit with Jim Ned.
That's going to end the third quarter 22-15.
Well, Snyder's not, by any stretch of the imagination, not out of this football game there. I do not expect them to go quietly into the West Texas night there in Scurry County, so we'll see how this one develops. I tell you what, if Jim Ned can get on the scoreboard once again, that might be it, But if Snyder's able to do something here in their next possession, call it a ball game still. Meanwhile, we are seeing developments from a development from Ratliff Stadium there in Odessa. Let's check this one out, Tony. With Odessa Permian Abilene High, and this one a pretty doggone good football game here. As last checked, it was 28-14. Well, there we are. That's the last one here. So we're going to show that one to you again. Thought we had another update there. So we'll show this one to you again. So this is how Odessa Permian got on the scoreboard there. 28-14 into the third quarter. About 33 into the third quarter as they head into the fourth quarter of action there. All right, so coming back to the desk, courtesy of WW AFCO Steel. All right, so 28-14 Abilene High leading Permian. Trammell, looks like, do we have an update from San Angelo Stadium?
Yeah, we're already back at San Angelo Stadium, Manny. You know, we brought you a little bit of doom and gloom, but don't worry. Remember, Ryan said whoever had the ball last, I don't care what the score
Well,
is.
give us that score before
last time we looked 42-26, but that, like you said, 14 is not nothing, and we're pretty close to 14. So, hey, who cares? We're just here to have some fun at this point. So, and get experience, very first district game for starting quarterback Tyler Hill. And, man, he's playing pretty good. Here's a good look for him. We talked about QB runs on the other side. Now here's one for him. Find a hole, make a couple miss, get your balance, keep running. That's a 25-yard touchdown for Tyler Hill and the San Angelo Central Bobcats.
I like me some Tyler Hill. I think he's probably the most – I mean – He arguably is the most athletic guy on that football field, and that's why you have him lined up at quarterback. Fun to watch when the football is in his hands.
Yeah, so that's 32, maybe 33, maybe 34. We'll wait. We'll see if the extra point's good.
Okay, so we'll see what happens in that one there. Central, not ready to call it a night by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah, 32-42.
So 42 to
10-point ball game, 3 minutes left in the third quarter, Manny. There's plenty of time in this ball game.
So 42-32, Frenship leading San Angelo Central right now as we speak. At this point, we'd like to call it a comeback. We would love to call it a comeback if Central can get a stop. These guys are in dire need of a stop, and we talked about this to start the show. In fact, Tony, if you want to bring up our Central angle, and we were talking about this defense. You can get this Central angle that's prepared for us, that we prepared to beginning the show. And I think this is kind of just very telling what's happening right now. This season, right now, Central's defense giving up 37 points per game. Rushing has just been, atrocious. 949 yards rushing that the teams are that they've tallied against San Angelo Central. Last week, Amarillo High, they picked up 7 sacks against this quarterback against Frenship. But the big thing you see there, 4 interceptions, 1 fumble that Central defense has managed this season. You got to believe they got to have some kind of fight defensively if they want to have time to #eat the rest of this ball game here, because they're going to need some big stops coming up down the stretch if they want to have any chance of coming back in this one here. So, man, that's kind of the biggest storyline with this San Angelo Central Bobcat team when it comes to, this matchup against Frenship, because Frenship arguably, I mean, they're not a bad football team. They may not have the best, strength of schedule against them, but, this defense, the Central defense, needs to come out. Something needs to happen with these guys. Wouldn't you say, Trammell?
Yeah, we at least have to get one stop. We're down by 10. If you can get one stop and make it a 3-point ball game, then you can do the shootout thing like Chadwick says. But if you don't get that one stop, then this is all for nothing.
Yeah.
We got to at least get one, and it's got to come quick. Remember, it's still the third quarter, but it's going to end very soon.
Yeah.
In the meantime, though, Manny, we saw the pick 6 by Jim Ned, so Snyder gets the football back. Let's see what they can do.
you got my attention right now, Trammell.
All right,
this has the makings of something pretty exciting if Snyder can come back.
Definitely so. So the ball's on the 42-yard line. They're driving. They had it at the 20, so they've already gotten 20-some-odd yards out of it. But don't let that fool you. Number 1 defense in the state, number 1 team in the state, rolls out, gets smoked, and that's an interception by the Indians. 2 in a row, Manny. What the heck's going on to the Tigers right now? Score is 20-15.
Oof. Okay. Well, I mean, you have to, at this point, you got it.
22-15.
22-15. So, man, let's come back to the desk, Tony. Courtesy of WW AFCO Steel. And if you're a Snyder football fan, you may be on the ropes right now, because Jim Ned, they've come up with their second turnover of the game. It's very timely right now for the Tribes to come up with something like this, because I tell you what, these guys, they do not they pretty much strike when they have the football. So if they manage to get a score right here, not looking good for the Snyder Tigers down the stretch of this ball game. So we'll see how this one develops here. In the meantime, we are waiting to see kind of what happens down the stretch of Abilene High and Odessa Permian. Last we checked, 28-14. Abilene High leading the Mojo Panthers. All right, Tony, let's get ready to take a commercial break with WW AFCO Steel. These guys just giving us pretty much all of our coverage of outside of San Angelo, or the Core 27 outside of San Angelo. Let's take a quick commercial break, pay some bills around here.
For over 70 years, W&W AFCO Steel has fabricated the steel to frame some of the most iconic structures nationwide. From Soldier Field in Chicago to Cal Field, home of the Texas A&M Fighting Aggies and College Station, what begins in San Angelo is impacting America.
All right, WW AFCO Steel, big thanks to those guys and how they're always just repping COVER1 Live here on SanAngeloLive.com. I'm Manny Diaz, alongside the partner in crime, Matt Tremmel.
You know.
Yeah. So, Tremmel, we saw the latest development in this saga that is the San Angelo Central Bobcats, as they scored a touchdown courtesy of Tyler Hill as a quarterback keeper. Right now, they're making this interesting. The score is now there at San Angelo Stadium, 42-32. So Bobcats still trailing Frenship.
I don't think it's over, Manny.
You don't think so?
No, I don't. I think as long as they can get that stop that we're talking about, we got to get one stop. Doesn't matter how it comes or where it comes from, but we got to get it. There's not been a big turnover in this game yet, and one's bound to happen. And if it's for Central, the game's over. But if they get it, man, we got a whole new ball game.
All righty. We love big ball games, and we're seeing a lot of those tonight. In the meantime, hey, we saw something pretty big. We saw, let me back up on that. So we saw in Schleicher County, Eldorado coming back in the first half as they took the lead 26-20 against the Sonora Broncos. It's a battle of Highway 277. Less than 30 miles separates these two towns. Well, to start the half, here we go. Let's just show it to you. Highlight courtesy of our good friend Caleb Price. And look at here. A little kickoff. Well, let's come back to the desk here. It was just kind of a big. It was
nice little kickoff.
Nice
to
little
start
return
it
there. We were trying to start of the second half. Sonora takes over, so we're trying to make sense of that game there. Sonora is getting the ball first. They're trailing 26-20 against the state-ranked Eldorado Eagles, the kids of 2A Division II. So I tell you what, who knows what happens in that game? It's going to be a fun one to watch. I know it's fun because about 25 miles separates those two towns. A lot of those kids, they may not know about this rivalry, but their uncles, their daddies, their family members know about that, and it's nice to see those two teams reunited on the same football field tonight. All right.
We're having some technical difficulties at San Angelo Stadium, but we're working on getting them going again.
Okay,
so,
all right.
We'll have an update from Snyder pretty quick. It looks like it's about to be fourth down there, and they might have to punt, but at least it's not another interception.
So, wait. So, Jim Ned might be having to punt tonight?
No, they're getting the ball back. Snyder got the ball again, so
Snyder can't do anything with the football.
They can't do anything with it now.
Okay, so it's kind of a stalemate of sorts. Is there a chance we can maybe see that?
Yeah. Give me a second. I'm pulling up to see how Jim Ned got the football.
All right,
back.
so we'll see how that one kind of shakes out there, and this is a darn good football game tonight out in Scurry County, as we're seeing 22-15 right now. Jim Ned, state ranked, the number one team in Texas, leading Snyder Tigers 22-15. We'll check in with some scores here around the Little Southwest Conference. and the state of Texas here in just a few moments. Matt Trammell, what do you got?
So this is the play that got – so we saw that Snyder got the turnover. Jim Ned got the football. You asked, did Jim Ned punt? They did not have to punt. Instead, they went for it on 4th down and kind of spoiling it. But here we go. Let's go ahead and check it out. Remember, Jim Ned versus Snyder brought to you by Berkshire Hathaway.
This one, WW
AFCO Steel. Even better. Sorry about that. So Jim Ned, just a little roll out there. It's 4th down. Tries to find him the diving catch, but – ref calls it no good. Turnover on downs. Next possession, Snyder Tigers 3 and out. They had to punt.
Wow. Okay. So stalemate. Stalemate. That's what we're kind of calling it right now.
Yep.
War of
the same as we saw in the first half. Score update here is 22-15 as well.
22-15. So this game not over yet from Scurry County there at Tiger Stadium. So, man. Tell me, folks, that if you're watching here on Facebook, if you're watching us on YouTube, we're seeing San Angelo Central trailing Frenship 42-32. We're seeing Odessa Permian trailing Abilene High 28-14. Are you at all surprised of these scores that your teams may be trailing at all, or any of this kind of going on? Drop us a line. Tell us what you think about your game of your favorite team. If you're a fanatic of one of these teams, we want to know what's going on. We want to know your thoughts because some of these games, it does not look good if you're a Central Bobcat fan. It does not look good if you're an Odessa Permian Panther fan. So we'll kind of see how these things shake out here in the next few moments here over the course of the next we're probably here with you for another hour, so to speak. So we'll see how this kind of works out. In the meantime, looks like we do have a highlight from Midland High from Grande Communications Stadium. Tony, if you want to get us ready here as we go back to Grande between this game between the Bulldogs and the Broncos. And last we checked, I mean, it was a whole lot to nothing. As Midland is kind of just having their way in Odessa High here. And check this out. A little screen action. Look at 60. Look at that. Look at the all lineman right there. Getting in front of his guy. Leading the convoy. Touchdown, dogs. Yeah. Those convoys right there, they don't get much better than that. Big time blocking. Midland High extends their lead. Let's come back to the desk.
Oh, look at that nice shot right there by Isaiah. Shout out to that one. That's how you get real close and comfortable with them cats.
Isaiah Garza hooking us up in that one there.
Manny, I have some good news. Manny,
what do we got?
I have some good news. Manny, I have some good news. I can't tell you enough. You said we needed a stop for the Central Bobcats. We did. And I said we needed a turnover. We didn't get that, but it's okay. Let's just check it out. So they drove the football. They drove it all the way down there. You know how it goes. They got close. But
we talking San Angelo? We talking the Bobcats?
We're talking the Tigers. The Tigers, they got the football back and they're driving. They drove it all. They got all the way down to about the 15, about 17-yard line. But we got the 3rd down stop and they're going to kick the field goal. Field goal is up, and guess what? It is no good. Okay. Tie ball game, 42-32.
So
San Angelo Central football.
Okay, so they caught a break. The Bobcats have finally caught a break. Let's come back to the desk here, Tony, courtesy of Berkshire Hathaway Home Services. Man, I tell you what, this could be just what the doctor ordered for the San Angelo Central Bobcats as they're trailing 42-32. Trammell, do we have a time? What we're watching in that game?
Not a time yet, but it's early in the 4th quarter.
Okay, all right. So we'll see how this one kind of plays out because I tell you what, very, very fun game, very fun ball game to watch. If you like you some Texas high school football.
Let's just check in on it, Manny. Let's tune back in. We got very good play. Central has the football. They're driving. Let's check it out.
All right, so Central with the rock here?
Yeah, definitely. Tyler Hill handed off to Samuel Navarrete, and he's going to make some people miss, find some holes, and he's going to take it all the way to the 30, to the other side of the 40.
Looks like to about the 37-yard line.
Yeah, Manny, that's a pretty good gain right there by the Bobcats. We're driving, maybe we can get a touchdown out of this.
All right, we shall see. We'll come back and we'll check in on this one. Courtesy of Berkshire Hathaway Home Services there. All right, so in the meantime, we do have a highlight prepared for you from Odessa between Mojo and Abilene High. But if you are a Permian Panther fan, I am so sorry because looks like Abilene. This one, last we checked here, it was 28-14. Let's come. Nope, wrong one there, Tony. Let's we'll just kind of run with it here. This is Permian Abilene High, and look at right here, the Warbirds driving in Mojo territory. Look at this.
Fly, Eagles,
AB
fly.
Ramirez crossing the goal line, touchdown, Eagles.
That was one of our character highlights this week. Was this AB Ramirez, Abel Ramirez, whatever you want to call him? Call him touchdown man Ramirez. That's for sure. He is going off. He is probably that's probably his multiple touchdown in this game.
Yeah,
go Warbirds.
Without question. 35-14, Abilene High leading Odessa Permian there at Ratliff Stadium. Tell you what, some extracurriculars going on there after the play. Tony, let's come back to the desk, courtesy of WW Avco Steel. Now, Trammell, I see you making faces over there.
That's a.
What do you got for us? Because it appears
it's not fun. It's not good. It's not fun.
Okay,
Manny.
don't.
It's not fun anymore,
don't
man.
Tease us like that.
We had the stop, man.
Okay.
We had the stop. We had the long. I'm just setting it up. We had the stop. They missed the field goal. We're down 10. If we can score right here, it's a whole new ball game. So San Angelo Central hands it off to Samuel Navarrete and gets all the way down there, as we saw in the last one. They're worried. They call a timeout. This is right after the timeout. Let's play. So remember, very first district game for quarterback here, Tyler Hill. He has all the time in the world and throws it, didn't read the safety. Safety's got it. And this is not just going to be an interception and a drop. This interception is going to take it all the way past the 50-yard line. Frenship Tiger football.
My goodness. Just when we thought we were catching a break. Trammell, what do you have to say about that?
It sucks, Manny, because you're right. We thought we had the break that we needed, and like I said, there hadn't been a big turnover, and if it was Central, the one that got the turnover, they probably weren't going to win the game, and that's a pretty big blow to the gut right there, deep in this fourth quarter.
All righty, so before we left you for that one, it was. Before we got to that highlight, it was 42-32, Frenship leading San Angelo Central. Looked like we saw Sammy Navarrete just take them deep into Bobcats, into Frenship territory to the 37-yard line.
And then
oh my gosh.
It's tough because he had all the time in the world back there. And I don't know if he just didn't see that guy or what, or the ball slipped on him or something, but that's just a safety just sitting there.
That's tough, man. And gosh, I don't have words for that because the Bobcats they catch a break, and it's like you want to see them take advantage of that, man. But that's
is this just
tough.
Typical Bobcat football?
I don't know what this is right now. I know one thing: this is not something that we're used to seeing with these guys. I know they've kind of been struggling in the last few weeks against some really good football teams, Austin Vandergrift and Amarillo Tascosa. But man, oh man, they're beating themselves right now, and they're taking it to themselves as we speak. And that's kind of just been. And I'm curious to hear Ryan Chadwick's take on this after the game. But man, the Bobcats, they can't get out of their own way tonight.
He had time too. That's the tough part is if you sit there back there and you have 5 seconds to throw the football. You got to make it count. There's 7 minutes left in this ball game. There's not enough time for you to get more than one stop, really. So, got to get it done in a quick and hurry way, because if not, this may be bad for the Bobcats.
Yep, 42-32, San Angelo Central trailing the Frenship Tigers. You know, in the stretch of this, this schedule for the Bobcats. Frenship this week, Odessa High next week. They're at Ratliff Stadium, and then they come back against Midland High on October 7th. I mean, Midland High, what they're doing tonight against Odessa High. You've got to win these games if you're San Angelo Central if you want to give yourself a chance to get into the postseason. And right now, it does not look like a postseason-like team, so to speak. Trammell, what you got for us?
Give me 1 second. I'm getting it all curated. But big things happening at San Angelo Stadium. Let's check it out.
Okay, so
so very first play after this turnover, we said, hey, golly, man, But the Central Bobcats are not going to give up. Remember, this offensive line struggled last week against Abilene High, Amarillo High, excuse me. So let's see what them Sick Cats can do. You can see they're bringing people up. Just a little read option, make a couple miss, get your hands on him, make a play there. What to say? We'll get to it. We'll get to it, Manny. Go back to Manny. We'll get to it. We're getting there.
Alrighty. Berkshire Hathaway, proud presenting sponsor of San Angelo Central Bobcat football. 42-32, the Bobcats trailing the Frenship Tigers right now. If you're just tuning in, also you can check out some of the latest updated scores on the Deerski and Deerski ticker down below of your screen. So, man, this has been an interesting game to say the least. All right. Are we ready to go back to San Angelo Stadium?
Let's go back to San Angelo Stadium. We showed you the first play of the drive. Now here's the third down of that same sequence. Let's check it out. So quarterback gets a snap, hands it off, keeps it though, and gets sacked from behind, drops the football. Central recovers the fumble. Bobcats football 50-yard line, Manny.
Okay. This is what we were expecting tonight. Certainly, after watching Amarillo sack this guy 7 times last week, where's this been?
Yeah, either way, it's I don't know if they didn't get the fumble, it's 4th down. It looks like they didn't actually call it. Looks like they called him down on it. So 4th down, they got a punt though.
Okay. All right, so Bobcats with the football here. Bobcats with the football. All right, so good things going on there. We do have an updated score for you from Scurry County as Jim Ned, they hold on for the victory tonight. The number 1 team in Texas, a.k.a. the defending Class 3A Division I state champion, as they beat Snyder tonight 22-15. They hold on for the win. What an exciting football game there from Tiger Stadium. All right, if you were expecting Mojo, the Odessa Permian Panthers, to go quietly into the West Texas night, well, think again, because we do have an update from Ratliff Stadium against Odessa Permian, Abilene High. And here, Mojo kind of just doing a little flex, if you will. It was 42-14. Here we go.
Yeah, this is a little out of hand, but it's good to see that there's still a little fight in the Panthers.
Yeah.
Guys, for you guys making picks next week for San Angelo Live, don't you forget about this win right here.
Permian taking the rock there. Tony, drop that title. Let's go back to the highlight there, Tony, and drop the banner. We'll run it back here. There we go. Let's see the touchdown in action there. Man, over the middle, off to the races. It's a Mojo touchdown, 42-14 right now. Tony, let's come back to the desk.
Mojo touchdown, Manny. But does it matter? Don't think so. 42-21, right?
42-21.
That's a dub.
The Warbirds leading Odessa Permian tonight. So
Manny, San Angelo Stadium right now is rocking, but it's 4th down for the Bobcats. They have the ball. Are they going to punt? Or are they going to go for it? What do you think? There's not a lot of time left.
Well, you got to go.
We'll play. Yeah, you got to go for it, and that's what they're going to do. Let's see if they can get it. It's about 4th and 8. So Tyler Hill catches the snap and looks around, throws himself a jump ball, finds his man. No good. Turnover on downs for the Bobcats.
No dice in that.
It's a good ball.
Well,
good look.
He gave him a chance.
The man was open, though, and may have should have thrown it a little closer to the field side than the out-of-bounds side. But nonetheless, 5 minutes left in the ball game, 32-42. Central is down.
Man, well, you're kind of running out of – you're running out of chances at this point. And, the defense, they got a great stop right there. It's the offense at this point that's got to really step up. So if they want to have a chance down the stretch of this football game. So we saw a great finish tonight, 22-15. Right now, updated score from Grande Communication Stadium, 42-14. Midland High leading Odessa. These are the next two games for the Bobcats. They were supposed to win tonight against Frenship. Right now, trailing 42-32. Next week, they have Odessa High at Ratliff. Then they come back to San Angelo Stadium against Midland High. I don't know. I don't know what they do at this point, Trammell.
What do you even say about Central at this point? Are they a good football team?
They're a good football team. It feels like they're just they can't put it together.
Is Frenship a good football team?
I don't know if that. I don't know.
How good is this little Southwest Conference? Are we, is Mojo good? What is going on? Is anyone good besides Midland Lee?
Well, Midland Legacy, they are what they are. They're the Titan
Are
of the
they
district.
even good? Well, I guess they beat, Tascosa, but
they beat Tascosa. Got smoked. Tascosa's just been, world beaten all over the little Southwest Conference. But I think truly tonight, the eye-opener of this district, of this little Southwest Conference, has to be without question Abilene High, and certainly what they're doing to Odessa Permian is 42-21. Last we checked in that one?
42-21.
Yeah, so
which was coincidentally the score to Amarillo Tascosa versus Abilene and Odessa. So
it's been a wild night, and I think probably the team to watch for in this district outside of Midland Legacy, Abilene High.
Yeah, because remember they took the 4th spot last year.
They took the 4th, and they went the deepest. Of any team in the Little Southwest Conference.
And the kids that returned, I think they know what's up. I think maybe they know that they're a little better than what. And I think they took that butt whooping by Abilene Cooper, and I really think that probably put some hurt on them, gave them some grit, some toughness, because it's like you lost to your town. You lost to the only people that you're going to play in your town, and that might put a little chip on your shoulder.
Yeah, why not? They're literally playing with the chip on their shoulder tonight, and I think I down the stretch, I don't think I'm going to pick against Abilene High again. I think what this sets up is a pretty good matchup against the Frenship Tigers when you're talking Abilene High. Abel Ramirez, this guy, the QB1 for Abilene High, showing us the goods, showing us what he's made of this season tonight. And if you can do that against Permian, well, what's that to say you can't do that against Midland Legacy, perhaps Frenship, perhaps Midland High? I think all these games in the Little Southwest Conference are going to be they're going to be fun to watch. Certainly, whenever Abilene High's playing at this level. Now, as for Central, the Bobcats, I don't know what happens with these.
We got to go back to the drawing board, man. We got to find some kids who want to play coverage. We got to find some kids who want to tackle.
As Tommy Davis, my old ball coach in Cristobal, Texas, used to say, "Get a hat on somebody."
Yeah, and I saw this a lot, and I'm not peeking in as much as Chadwick is because of course he's there, but from what I'm seeing on their defense, to me it's like they're gonna wait till someone's around them to tackle them. They're not ready. Just their secondary at least is not ready to just come up and even tackle these quarterbacks like this Frenship quarterback who's running all over them. Why not meet him? Why not go try to tackle him instead of wait until he puts a move on you?
Yep. No, you're exactly right.
So, and I think that probably was a big reason why they lost. In the words of Joe Hyde, the gashing runs. They're getting gashed out there.
All right. Hey, we do have an update from Schleicher County. The kids from Eldorado. Tell you what, Korbin Covarrubiaz.
But besides him, Manny, at first I just want to ask you, you know what circle button is, right? That's what we're about to see. This cat right here, he He pushed the circle button.
When you're playing with the old PlayStation or the Xbox, I mean, that's what you do. Give me a highlight there.
All right, Manny. So Covarrubiaz, of course, he's gonna find his man, and of course he's wide open as could be. And then what I say? Circle button. Woohoo! Get off me, boy! Yeah, that's gonna be a touchdown for the Eldorado Eagles. Let's check this out one more time. Look.
Oh, got him, coach.
The key is the stick right here. You bring him in, you bring him into the outside, and then you take him back to the inside.
Look at that.
The jab step to just completely get him there, and then circle out. Touchdown, Eldorado. That's going to bring it to
34-20, 2-point conversion, no good, or 2-point conversion, good. They now have a 2-touchdown lead over the Sonora Broncos. So let's revisit our Trammell lines tonight with that game. Trammell, you said 59.5, the over-under, okay?
Yeah.
We're at 34-20, 54?
64?
54 points right now.
Oh, I'm looking at the wrong score. Sorry about that. Yeah, 54. I said 59. Manny, it's still the third quarter, but that's pretty close so far.
Yeah. Oh, boy. So
do you happen to know off the top of your head the head coach's name for Jim Ned?
Jim Ned. Oh, that is we can find out here.
Yeah, let me look. I'll look.
All right. So as we kind of get things going with as we kind of seeing these games develop tonight, Jim Ned, as Trammell just mentioned, speaking of those guys, they now move to 5-0. Matt Fanning is the head coach there, Trammell.
It's not Womack?
No, Matt Fanning. He is the head coach there, the old ball coach.
Spell that for me.
Fanning. So
perfect. Right, we're gonna have a quick word from him. Our guy on the ground is just getting a hold of him now.
Okay, Bellini working on post-game interview with Matt Fanning, the old ball coach for the Jim Ned Indians. I tell you what, some good football tonight. And I believe Abilene High, Odessa Permian is closing in on a final score, 42-21. This one may be over for Mojo tonight. Speaking of games that are over, and perhaps the season, if we're not careful.
Yeah, of course we saw the fourth down that did not go for the Bobcats, and so the Tigers took over pretty much in their red zone. This is how that drive finished off. Just like a lot of them tonight, no hats were put on jerseys, quarterback run all the way, and just a touchdown.
The Bobcats have not had one single answer for that kid tonight. Not one single answer.
Now, if you look right here, pause, boom, what are they doing? They're not tackling with their helmets. They're tackling with their arms. You'll never get somebody down with their arms.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Reaching, man.
49-32. 2 minutes and 30 seconds left. Manny, they blew the over out of the water.
Let's come back to the desk, Tony. This is, man, tell you what. Tony, if you want to get Las Esperanza a little commercial action ready, we'll take a quick commercial break before we kind of run some scores tonight as things are kind of trailing off as we kind of wrap up tonight. We got about 30-45 minutes left in the show. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and take a quick commercial break, pay some bills around here.
La Esperanza Chadburn Clinic is here to serve you, providing behavioral health services, adult primary health care, along with school and employment physicals, and so much more. La Esperanza Chadburn Clinic, located at 1610 South Chadburn, offers extended hours Monday through Thursday and Saturday clinic hours from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m.
Alrighty, so that one, 49-32, Trammell?
A lot to a little bit.
So this one pretty much just out of reach for the Central Bobcats now. It's more than a two-score advantage for the Frenship.
49-32.
49-32.
Minute 48 left in the game. This one's winding down.
Yeah. For the Bobcats, I don't know how they regroup the troops from here, because next week they got to face the Odessa Broncos. We said tonight, that this win or this game against Frenship was going to be not so much of a gimme, but it was going to be something that they could get a team that they could get a win against. Tonight, not so much the case, as Frenship kind of just came in here with something to prove.
We knew it was going to be a shootout. It was a shootout last year, but we just were on the other hand of it. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like it's going to go that way for the Bobcats. There's not a lot of time left, and now it looks like they just turned the ball over on downs, and Frenship's ball with about 1:30 left.
Wow. All right. So, hey, speaking, we need to turn the climate around here. Hey, if we need a game to talk about that's fun, that's interesting. Let's talk about these Eldorado Eagles and Sonora Broncos. When we last left this game, it was 34-20. Eldorado just scored. Let's go back to Schleicher County with this one here. Homecoming night for the Eldorado Eagles. Sonora with the rock. And check this out. Look at these guys. Sonora looking to make something happen. Close to midfield. Sam Griffin.
Chunk it up.
Going to come up with a nice little stop there. Coming back to the desk, Tony. That was from last week. Yeah, Sam Griffith coming up with a big stop, forcing that play to go out of bounds for the Sonora Broncos. Big stop. Sonora trailing Eldorado 34-20. Man, it looks like Eldorado's kind of back up to their old ways here. But meanwhile, so we saw that big defensive play. Hey, Trammell, you got that one there?
Yep, rolled
from
up.
Caleb Price.
Yep.
So we do have a new development in this one. We're just moving along with this game. Boots on the ground. It looks like we need a stinger for this, Trammell. We need a Korbin Covarrubiaz stinger.
Yeah, he needs like his own like sound effect
Yeah,
or something. Man,
I mean,
as much as we talk about this cat.
kid is just a highlight machine waiting to happen. Let's go to him tonight. Let's check out this. Yeah, go for it, Tony. Hit us with this here. Sonora Eldorado back at Mitchell Stadium there in Schleicher County. Look at this.
Oh, the pump fake. Make one miss. Keep your eyes down the field and find him. That's
Cooper Metter.
Another touchdown. Like he's pointing at his girlfriend over there in the stands. You know, baby, it's homecoming. I'm going to see you after the game. We're going to go try out the mum.
Oh, man.
Makes one miss. There it is. What a bomb, man. What a golly.
Korbin Covarrubiaz makes that look way too easy. Okay, so the Eldorado Eagles have been on our spotlight for practically this entire season, and certainly play the game nominee. This one is that just because of what how effortless he makes that look.
How weird is this team going to look next year when there's no Covarrubiaz?
Oh, it's going to look insanely weird. It's going to look insanely weird. But, man, I think we just have to enjoy what we got right here because he's just gold every Friday night. Cooper Metter, the rodeo man. This guy's always making big plays on the other end of that. But, wow, this is fun to watch. It's fun to watch Covarrubiaz. I love that kid. And, he's certainly a treat for Eldorado, a treat for Schleicher County. Not so much the Sonora Broncos tonight. Trammell, hey, how about a look at some scores tonight? You want to take a peek into those?
Oh, do you want to look at another angle for that touchdown?
Hey, let's do it, man.
Yeah.
So we just saw
Here's the
Corbin
same
Covarrubiaz.
Yeah. It's the same one. Just here's a little
The
better.
Covarrubiaz family is just, living tonight. Livin back to Sonora Eldorado. And if you like spread offense football, well, here you go. Corbin.
Make that one miss. Get off your eyes down the field and let it go. Big fella touchdown.
Ooh, woo. I love watching that. I love watching me some Corbin Covarrubiaz.
Look how quick that throw is though. Like how fast he gets rid of it. Gone.
I bet Kenny and Vanessa Covarrubiaz are just beside themselves tonight as how well their boys playing, how well the Eldorado Eagles are playing tonight. They are looking to move to 4-0 on the season. Man, oh man, good looking touchdown there.
That's unless the clock's. I guess the clock's on. I was gonna say it looks like there's 0 time left, but I think that's just a clock error.
I'm betting the Sonora Broncos are wishing there was no clock on the no time left on the clock there. But so yeah, good stuff there from the Eldorado Eagles. Trammell, how about a look at these scores tonight as we kind of near the it's 9:37 here on Cover1 Live here on SanAngeloLive.com. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. It's been a wild night of football. We saw just a fantastic game between Snyder and Jim Ned. As Jim Ned, I tell you what, they were on upset alert tonight as the Snyder Tigers gave them a good ball game there in Scurry County. As Jim Ned eventually pulled out the win, 22-15. We saw a Xavier Wishart touchdown, a big touchdown from him, as this guy just went the distance, and I'm sure we'll kind of try to revisit that play at some point down the stretch. But I tell you what, we'll take Matt Trammell is gearing up our scores look tonight. Trammell, what do you got?
All right, remember, guys, you can check these out at SanAngeloLive.com/scores. This is the Deersky and Deersky Realtors Scorebook. Remember, these are the real estate professionals of West Texas. Let's get it going. All right, so Fort Stockton Pecos 42-0. Fort Stockton won that one, or is pretty much wrapping it up. Erie County Bront ended 53-6. Bront lost that one. Eden beat Morgan tonight 76-28. Cross Plains and Miles' third quarter score is tied at 24-20. Winters is beating Hico at halftime 28-7. Goldthwaite and Cristobal actually they were down 20-21. Now the score is 35-21 as the Cougars are up. Early versus Grape Creek, 49-0 Early. Merkel versus Coahoma, Merkel 37, Coahoma 14. Alpine versus Kermit, 28-14 Alpine. TLCA is playing Stanton at Lakeview Stadium tonight, 34-13. Stanton's up in that one. Crane versus Denver City, 9-7 Crane. Coleman versus Colorado City, 56-7 score as Coleman's up in that one. Archer City versus Stanford, 29-14. Stanford's losing. Haskell versus Hamlin, 25-0. Haskell's going to pitch the shutout. Roscoe versus New Home, 44-6. As Roscoe's up in that one. Dublin's leading San Sab at halftime, 17-14. Harper's up against Menard, 32-0. Four Sands beating Reagan County, 34-0. Garden City is up against Van Horn, 62-32. Cisco and Comanche, not a very close game there, 21-14, but nothing's out of reach yet. Third quarter score. Hawley versus Banks, 54-0, fourth quarter. Ballinger and Llano, 9-7. Remember, Manny, we saw it was 3-0 by Llano. Now they've scored two more field goals, 9-7. All right, Brownfield versus Lakeview. Lakeview's looking like they're going to get their first win of the season, Manny. 35-0, they're going to beat the Cubs.
How about those Chiefs?
That's about time. Post versus Slayton, 19-12. Post is up in that one. Eldorado versus Sonora, 26-20. We actually have an updated score on that one, Manny. What was the last Eldorado score?
42-20, if I'm not mistaken.
All right, Mason versus Junction, 35-0. Mason's up big in that one. Strawn's beating Westbrook 52-40. Borden County is losing to Water Valley 54-22. I bet that one's going to wrap up about any second. Paint Rock versus Zephyr, 28-7. Paint Rock. Very Best is beating Panther Creek 50-34 after trailing in the first. Albany versus Anson, 48-2. Rotan beat Robert Lee 55-6. Jim Ned and Snyder, that one's final 22-15. The Indians stay undefeated. Odessa Permian lost to Abilene High tonight 42-21. Lubbock Monterey beat Lubbock High 62-7. Midland versus Odessa, that one's just about done 42-14. Dumas versus Canyon Randall 38, Dumas 19. Madison versus Galena Park North Shore, it's a very close one there, 42-35. Byron Nelson lost big time tonight against South Lake Carroll, 61-7. Duncanville put it on Waco Midway, 55-0. DeSoto against Mansfield, 31-7. DeSoto. Holiday versus Breckenridge, 34-12 is the Roos falling that one. Jim Hanks lost to the Pirates, the Lubbock Cooper Pirates, that is 41-7, halftime score there, but that one's probably out of even more out of range now. Abilene Wiley versus Brownwood, 49-14. Midland Greenwood's down to Canyon, 38-19. Arlington Martin versus Arlington, the Battle of Arlington, 59-17. Martin's up big in that one. San Angelo Central lost tonight against Lubbock Frenship, 49-32. Amarillo Caprock versus Amarillo High. Amarillo High won 34-3. Pampa beat Levelland really bad tonight, Manny. Really, really bad tonight.
Yikes.
53-6. The Lobos down in that one. Abilene Cooper versus Granbury, 56-20. Big Spring versus Clint. Big Spring won. So did Lakeview. So, hey, They're getting things ready before they start district 42-16. Hereford versus Plainview 32-28. Hereford's up big in that one. These scores plus some more are going to be on there, plus highlights, plus videos, plus a whole lot of other stuff. SanAngeloLive.com/scores. Brought to you by Deersky and Deersky Realtors, the real estate professionals of Texas.
Whether it's a handyman's dream, a dream home, or perhaps a home on the range, Deersky and Deersky can help you find or sell your next home. After all, everything we touch turns to sold. Deersky and Deersky Realtors, the real estate professionals of Texas.
Alrighty, there we are. Our scores as we kind of wrap up the night here. 49-35, Central Bobcats falling to the Frenship Tigers. As the Bobcats, they now suffer their third straight loss of the season after starting the season 2-0. But, you know, this season, tonight, it started a brand new season because it was the start of the district season. So it was their time to kind of it was a fresh slate, if you will, as they started Little Southwest Conference play, but did not go their way. I mean, I can't tell you how many times the Frenship quarterback, the QB1, got in the end zone. I mean, this guy was just running like a man free. It was just one of those nights for that defense. And we talked about it tonight. We talked about it to start the show, that if Central was going to have any chance tonight, their defense, not their, I mean, their offense has plenty of firepower, but their defense was going to have to step up.
Right. And then at the end of the day is, you know, just costly turnovers at the end of the game. Really, you know, we put ourselves in a position to win the game, but unfortunately they didn't. They may put themselves in the position, but they didn't take advantage of it. And I think that's kind of what boiled down to it, is they didn't get that shot at the end to be like the last one with the balls, because they didn't take care of it when they had it in the second half.
No, yeah, they did not. They did not take advantage of these moments that they had, and it was tough. I mean, you can't. I don't know if there's a. I don't know how you fix that. I mean, it's want to more than anything. I know coaches, they got to be able. They get it. They put a game plan together. Yeah, you got to go back to the drawing board here. So
speaking of coaches, man, the best game of the night probably. Jim Ned Snyder. Jim Ned ended up winning it, and James Bellini actually got a quick word with the Jim Ned head coach. If you want to check that out.
Matt Fanning, head coach, Jim Ned Indians. 7-7 game at the half. You come out, and what do you tell your team at halftime to keep them into the game?
Well, we had to clean some things up. We didn't execute very good in the first half. We took some things for granted and played a little sloppy, and they put us in a bad position by playing really well. And you know, going to the second half, and we addressed that with our kids. I mean, they've got to buckle down. I mean, it wasn't anything that we were, you know, wasn't schematic. It was execution. And we were able to kind of adjust and fix those things and get our kids cleaned up and you know, kind of reset their mind a little bit. And I thought they did a good job addressing that in the second half.
All right, I mean, they had an interception in the second half after the big Wishart run. They turn around, have an interception, have another interception. How do you keep that momentum going into next week? District starting up soon, and
got bye week next week, and then we go in against another undefeated team against Hurley, who's an up-and-coming program. They're hungry, and we're gonna have to play really well. I mean, I would compare them to Snyder. I mean, we're gonna have to play really well, and I mean, it's just a great example. We can't take anything for granted, which is something we have to preach to our kids daily, and you know, hopefully we get a good response out of that.
Out there is right, looking for a receiver.
Head coach of the Jim Ned Indians. This team remains undefeated on the season. His number one ranked Jim Ned Indians, defending state champions of Class 3A Division I, got themselves a ball game. And, you know, last week they were in kind of a very similar setting against Cisco, where it came down to the final moments. You know, it came down to the last few drives because Cisco was mounting a comeback. And the kids from Jim Ned, or the kids from Tuscola, they were resilient down the stretch.
Yeah.
And they made things happen. And they did it again tonight.
Yeah, and what they did really well tonight was in the last 2 or 3 minutes of the game, they really managed the game really well. They ran the clock down. They got their 3 yards of pop, and they gave it to their best running back. And they didn't put and if they did throw it, they threw it short. They kept it honest. They didn't try any big shots down the field to put themselves in a situation like, I don't know, like another team tonight that has a cat in their name.
They'll remain nameless.
But they don't put themselves in positions where they're going to have to take shots down the field, and when they do have that lead, they just drag the clock out, and they made you stop them, and they made you play them honest, and they at least snuck out of the Tiger Stadium there with a win. So
yeah, no, you're exactly right. It was a weird game for that because it's we're seeing teams like this that can kind of fall behind early, but have the will to kind of come back down the stretch. Man, that tells you a lot about what these kids are made of. They're in the south end of Taylor County. They're passing the eyeball test of being able to, defend their state championship, and I think they'll get a shot. I think they'll get a chance to do so. They'll have a tough district. We'll see them go against these Wall Hawks here in the next few weeks.
And what the thing is he did not say we're going to go have to play Wall. He ain't worried about that. He's worried about Early.
Well,
who had a pretty dang good game tonight, and I'm pretty sure they won.
Yeah, well, I think he's probably just looking at it he's probably playing it safe. The whole one game at a time.
Right, but he said early is undefeated. And let me see. I'm trying to find the score right now on the San Angelo Live score page, brought to you by Deersky and Deersky Realtors. And give me a second, I'll pull it up. Here we go. They played Grape Creek.
Okay,
but 49-0.
You win the games you're supposed to win.
Yeah, and you got to win them by a lot. So I think maybe we got a battle for district championships in that one.
Yeah,
can Wall make the playoffs?
That will be a big question. So you have Breckenridge
and
Grape Creek, Early, I believe, in that district.
Yeah, Jim Ned and Wall.
TLCA. They're making I think Wall's making the playoffs.
Yeah,
I'd say they're making the playoffs.
I hope so.
I mean,
if they lose, did they drop TLCA?
It may be a thing where it's all about seeding at that point for the Wall Hawks, because usually, the way they went last year in that whole thing was they ended up drawing, not Pilot Point, but they drew Bushland. Was a very good football team.
Oh man, that's tough.
Solid team.
That's a big time scoring team.
So, the whole thing with Region 1, Class 3A Division 1 is you want to stay away from Pilot Point and Brock as much as you can, or at least until the 3rd or 4th round. With Wall, unless Wall can come up with a win against Jim Ned.
They're going to have to pull a rabbit out the hat, Manny. But it's not impossible because this is Texas high school football, and there's no better place to watch it than Cover1. And we'll be there, and we'll have all the coverage for it, so might as well stick with us.
And we're kind of we're also efforting some highlights, kind of just some look backs of kind of what was going on tonight throughout the state of Texas and, throughout the West Texas area here. Let's see. Trammell, do we have anything else that we're working on tonight?
I'm working on the Kevin Crane interview. It's coming up pretty quick.
Okay. All right. So we'll kind of we'll take a quick break from that. Tony, do we have? If we can, let's take another quick break and let's take a look at our friends at Berkshire Hathaway. All right, so as we step aside, we'll pay some bills around here, and we'll kind of get you ready as we kind of get ready to wrap up the show here. Some final scores and some final thoughts from San Angelo Central head coach Kevin Crane.
We know people in sales who tell their clients what they want to hear.
But at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Addresses Realtors, we're not driven by the end transaction. We want a lifelong relationship with our clients, which means sometimes we have to tell our clients what they need to hear. Our industry-leading team of real estate professionals is ready to help you find the home where you can enjoy life's biggest celebrations and smallest moments.
When you open the door to your first home or your forever home, we want to be there with you.
And while we may be a brand with international reach, we remain locally owned and committed to the San Angelo community.
Our company is built on the principles of trust, integrity, longevity, and stability.
At Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Addresses Realtors, we are honored to be your forever agents.
Well, guys, we saw a, not the best performance by the Central Bobcats. They did fall to the Frenship Tigers tonight, 49-32. I'm sure Coach Kevin Crane's not very happy about losing the first district game of his coaching career, a head coach. But I'm not going to speak for him. Let's just hear what he has to say.
Coach Kevin Crane with San Angelo Central Bobcats. Man, the Lubbock Frenship had a really good running game. What do you think about the response of the defense?
Yeah, they do. I mean, they got really big offensive linemen, a couple Division I guys on their front, really good back that was back from last year, and a really solid quarterback as well. And they did a great job running the ball tonight, and defensively, I thought we got better as we went, but obviously that's a hard team to match up against with their size and their speed, and I felt like we got better as we went.
One of the things that I saw in this game when compared to previous games was you guys got a bigger score in the first half. Did you go back in there after last week and say you guys got to get the score up fast?
I wish I could, say that was the case, but I just think our offense is playing pretty good. Really, I mean, we played pretty good in the first half, and second half we kind of forced the issue a little bit, trying to catch up, and kind of got behind the 8 ball, but. Offensively, we're doing some good things. We just got to keep improving.
What about that pass by English? And I think it was the first quarter, second quarter, early in the game.
Yeah.
I mean, we were jumping up and down the press box saying.
Yeah, it was a great catch and kind of a 50-50 ball, 50-50 throw, and it came up with a great play and really helped a lot there in the first half.
Another thing I'm seeing is Tyler Hill scrambling a lot more. Is that intentional?
Not really. I mean, it's always just kind of take what they give you. If the opportunity presents itself. He can find a lane and he can go. He's got good speed and, did a good job of scrambling tonight.
Next week, you getting ready?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we got to flip the script, get ready for Odessa High next week. They're a good football team and they're playing really well, and so we've got to get ready to play that game next week.
Thank you, Coach Crane. Appreciate
Thank
you.
All right, man. Yeah, Coach Crane kind of said it best there. I mean, the offense truly delivering, and these guys are kind of putting together some things there. Tyler Hill, Sammy Navarrete, they're getting the job done defensively. It's just so incredibly difficult in being able to stop teams, and that's been the case for this entire season. I mean, if you go back to just week 2 against El Paso Montwood, when it was incredibly difficult for them to stop. I mean, I know that the Montwood wide receiver Owaka was just tough to stop there. The dude had like 4 touchdowns, but I mean, still down the stretch, the defense is struggling right now. Yeah. I don't know how they fix it. The elephant's in the room there, and the elephant is the defense.
I think they know, and I think they know what's up. I think he understands what the problems are. I don't think he has a way to fix them right now, because what I took out of that interview was the line where he said, well, that's a tough team to match up against. That's not a very tough team to match up against if you're thinking about what we're going to have to face. I mean, if you're talking about playoff teams, playoff contenders, state championship contenders, even district championship contenders, if you're worried about matching up with Frenship Tigers, you got another thing coming when you're about to have to go against Mojo, and you're about to have to go against Midland Lee, and you're about to have to go against all these big 6As in the playoffs. that Frenship team is not that hard to match up against, and if it's matchup problems, then they may not be able to fix it this year.
Yeah, I mean you're exactly right. I mean, because it doesn't, this schedule for the Bobcats, it's they get an opportunity to kind of come into this. They had an opportunity. They're given an opportunity to go 3-0 in district play. The back end of the schedule is extremely backloaded because you have Midland Legacy, Odessa Permian, Abilene High. Those right now, I mean, with the exception of the way Permian played tonight, I mean, it looks like Abilene High and Midland Legacy are just world beaters in this district right now.
It's what it looks like. I mean, of course, let's not let it ride and just say, Midland Legacy is higher than anyone that has played. They haven't played. They haven't had the opportunity or chance to mess things up. I guarantee you they will. They weren't undefeated last year in district, and it's a very hard district to go undefeated in, Manny. So I wouldn't sit here and say that either one of those two are clear front runners. I mean, Legacy is good, and they're the only ones that beat Tascosa. If you're going to give them a district championship off that, but at the end of the day, it is a little Southwest Conference. Anyone can lose any week. But if you're the San Angelo Central Bobcats, you no longer have the option to lose any other week.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Trammell. And I think, the road to the postseason just became it became that much more difficult for the Bobcats as they fall tonight, 49-35. Is that what the final? 32. I was trying to give them some points there. Hey, joined by Ryan Chadwick, our Bobcat resident connoisseur. It's tough being a Bobcat fan right now, Chadwick, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, Manny, it's tonight was another one of those rough ones where you could tell that the Bobcats were clearly injured on defense because they were just a revolving door for 3/4 of that game.
Mm-hmm.
It's really disappointing to see them fall to a team like Frenship, who, like, don't get me wrong, they had some athletes. Their quarterback and running back were very gifted and real good at making guys miss, very athletic, very quick. So, hats off to those guys for playing a great game. But in terms of just the competition level in this district, this was a game that the Bobcats needed to win, and they just didn't. So it's a tough pill to swallow tonight, even especially at home in front of that massive homecoming crowd. Like that stadium was rocking.
Homecoming tonight.
Yeah. But it is what it is. Like people get hurt. It's got to be next man up, and unfortunately, that just next man up just didn't work out as well as the Bobcats had hoped for.
Yeah. It's tough, man, and I don't know where they get wins. The rest of this district season. Next week, before we kind of get into that, let me take a step back real quick. Do you find it hard to believe that this Frenship quarterback, this QB1, was sacked 7 times last week?
With that speed, I honestly do not know how. The Bobcat defensive line was struggling. By the end of the game, they did start getting after him. So let me preface this with the defense stepped it up in a big way in the fourth quarter, and then it was the offense who ran into a wall, and they couldn't capitalize at that point. That's when the offense started turning the ball over. So I will say defensively, they got after the quarterback in the fourth quarter, but before that, man, they couldn't come close to him. I think he had 2 or 3 touchdowns that were more than 30 yards.
He was killing.
Yeah, he was killing.
I mean, just the offensive performance tonight from the Frenship Tigers, it was surprising because Trammell and I had talked about it to start the show. If there was going to be a unit that stepped up for the Bobcats, it was going to have to be that defensive side of the football. Offensively, they got the tools. They have the Sammy Navarretes, they have the Tyler Hills, they have the Jacob English, they have these characters.
Trevor Scott tonight.
You can go up and down that roster, that lineup, and you can put points on the football, you can put points on the board, but defensively, gosh, it's incredibly tough to stop.
Well, let's put it this way.
Brian McNutt. I think that's his first name.
Bryson McNutt.
Yeah, Bryson McNutt. He did not play tonight, and his absence was sorely missed.
Very much felt.
That middle of the line where you usually see him crashing in, filling gaps. Like his presence was missed. Let's put it that way. So again, it's unfortunate, but the Bobcats are going to have to step up on defense, and they're going to have to find an additional leader besides McNutt, like some guy who can step up and make a big play. We need a leader in the secondary. The Bobcats aren't doing as well as they should be, in the nicest way possible of saying
That's
it.
putting it. Yeah,
they're not covering anybody. The Frenship quarterback didn't even throw his first incompletion until the fourth quarter. So he went 12 for 12 in the beginning. So.
Well, and this is a Central football team that they gave up over 500 yards rushing to Amarillo Tascosa last week. I mean, I know Tascosa, they are what they are. I mean, they're a machine on the ground, but my goodness, I mean, they made them look like, They made them look like, student body left, student body right, Permian Panthers, late 80s at that point.
One thing me and Manny kind of talked about Chadwick, and just kind of give your thought about this. I don't know. I kind of saw it maybe a little bit. Maybe it was just because I only saw that, I'm only seeing the touchdown play, so things might be skewed a little bit. Do you think this team kind of has a hard trouble with just they're stuck with arm tackling and they can't get their heads on people?
So this is when I say I can tell there's a lot of younger starters on this team because their fundamentals, especially on the defensive side of the ball, are a little bit lacking right now, and not breaking down for a tackle, getting juked out by moves that shouldn't usually work, like wrapping up arm tackles, like just. The guys on offense have an easier time stiff arming or just getting out of the way because the Bobcats aren't even slowing them down.
The quarterback completely roasted us tonight. The quarterback had 3 or 4 25-yard rushing touchdowns. I mean, at some point you got to just, this is a quarterback. You got to go smack him one, right?
Right. And again, that's where you're missing a guy like McNutt because he's the guy who'd go do the smacking, you know? So I think that the Bobcats just need to go back to their fundamental basics in practice. I know they got to get ready for Odessa High, but maybe throwing a couple extra drills here and there.
What 2 better games though to get your fundamentals exact than these 2 though?
The next 2 coming up. And and that's what it's going to have to be because once that Midland High game's over, it's
for real.
It's meat grinder.
I mean next week, okay, Odessa High, but I'm done saying that these games are gimmies.
Yeah, well, none of the games are going to be gimmies. And shoot, even Odessa High's playing some pretty good football right now. So
they got thumped tonight against Midland High, but Midland High,
I had them picked.
Yeah,
previously. But Midland High is they're not going to be the same Bulldog team that kind of just rolls over as we've seen in years past.
And they put it on Odessa tonight.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
That's a good-looking football team there.
All I can say is that this is going to be this has got to be a frustrating series of games for being a new head coach and Kevin Crane, you know. And I didn't see his interview, but I can imagine he was pretty frustrated.
The main comment I took away from his interview was that the Frenship was a hard team to match up against. Do you think that it's just Frenship's a hard team to match up against, or do you think about every team we're going to see for the rest of the time it's just going to be a hard matchup?
I said this before the season even started. And this isn't a knock on any of these guys, but this Central team is undersized. They're not under athletic. There are some athletes on this Central squad, but they are undersized. So I agree with what Coach Crane's saying. It was the same problem with Tascosa. It was the same problem with Van de Grift. It was the same problem against Colleen Shoemaker. They're just the metrics, the size, 6'3", 240, defensive linemen, against ours, who are lucky to be, hitting that 6 foot mark. Right. So, it's just tough, I just got to keep going back to that. It's tough, because the offense really grounded out. I want to say this a little bit about. I want to talk about Tyler Hill for a minute here. He played an incredible game, but the guy put a little too much on his shoulders there at the end.
Walk me through that interception.
Okay, so up until that point, it had just been back and forth, and Central kept setting up their big plays in the passing game with consistent running. They'd get 2 or 3 first downs, grinding out 6 yards of carry here, 6 yards of carry there, and then they bust out a 15-yard carry here. And then that would open up either a bootleg or like a rollout, a play action, something like where they're just the safeties are creeping, and so the receivers are just running free. On that particular pass, like that's exactly what had been happening. And Caden Box is wide open over the middle. Like I was even sitting up in the press box, and I called that. I was like, "Oh, he's open! Hit him! Hit him!"
Yeah, he had tons of time back there.
He had did have a little bit of pressure in his face, and the ball just got away from him a little bit, just over the top. And it was one of those classic ones that the safety was out of position, but like the ball was so far over Box's head that he was like, "Oh, hey, look what I found!"
It was like that Jets play the other day.
Yes. That's actually a really good comparison.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of exciting games, Tony, let's go look at a highlight. And you want to take a look at these Abilene High Eagles, because they were certainly the guys that kind of rose. The cream rose to the top when it came to them tonight as they took down Odessa Permian. And, hey, let's take a look at this highlight here, if you will, from Ratliff Stadium. Abilene High, Odessa Permian here. And here we go. Second quarter action, 21-7. Abilene, the Warbirds, leading at this point. And check it out. The QB1, Abel Ramirez, finding his guy over the middle. That would make it 28-7. Let's fast forward to the third quarter here. The Eagles once again driving. And these guys, they showed signs of life of doing these type of things all night long. Just a team that kind of just had Permian's number. But this play right here, going Boise State, okey doke. Little Statue of Liberty, perhaps?
Fooling everybody.
Flicker.
And look at that guy just going the distance there. That would make it 28-7 Abilene at that point.
But here comes the Panthers.
The Mojo Panthers saying, hey, this is our house here at Ratliff Stadium, making it 28-14. So closing the gap, 2-score lead. But, well, here come the Warbirds. Abel Ramirez, this guy sneaking it in, 35-14. Abilene at that point, but they're not done just yet. Here, well, one more time here. And they just kind of sneak it in as they go there. And the final score, 42-21. Abilene beats Mojo tonight. Tony, let's come back to the desk. 42-21 as Abilene High starts this district season 1-0. Permian handed their first loss of Little Southwest Conference play. So it wasn't so much a good night for Permian. Wasn't a great night for the San Angelo Central Bobcats. And, well, if you want to go down the line, the Odessa High Broncos. So, I think, do you think next week having to go to Ratliff, where do you think the Bobcats stand having to go over there and face against the Odessa Broncos as they look for their first district win next week?
Well, Manny, so far the 2 away games that the Bobcats have played, they've been very long road trips, right? Mm-hmm. So that usually means that the offense starts off a little bit slower in the first half. But the Bobcats have also proved that throughout the game, like they're going to settle down, they're going to figure it out, and they're going to pick it up. So I know the offense is going to be able to score points, and if they could start early, then like I'm hoping that they can get to 40, because that might be what it takes. Because historically in the last couple of games, like the defense is struggling a little bit right now. So I feel like because the defense is struggling like it is, the offense is going to have to take a little bit more opportunity on themselves, maybe keep the ball a little bit longer. Grind out 10 to 12 play drives instead of 2 to 3 play drives. You know what I mean? I'm not saying specifically cut off a big play that's happening, but I want to see. Yeah, I want to see the offense grind some clock. But I don't think they should be scared of the Broncos. Like they match up well against them every year. So it's going to come down to whether or not the offense is ready to play when the game starts.
Do they want to be the last place team in the district? That's what it's going to come down to.
I think you're right in this. I mean, the offense certainly has to play defense in this aspect, because they have to hold on to the football. Mm-hmm. They got to be able to just grind things out, have maybe some methodical drives.
And honestly, Manny, that was the goal tonight. Like, that's what the Bobcats were doing. Their drives lasted 4 to 5 minutes. Friendships lasted 1 to 2, So, like, whenever the Bobcats stopped scoring, that's when they ran into problems.
Right.
So, it's going to come back down on the defense. Like, the defense has to get a couple stops. Like, they forced a singular punt tonight. So, like, that's not going to cut it. They didn't have any takeaways. The only reason they got another stop was because it was a missed field goal.
Yeah.
But
that was tough.
Yeah.
That was tough.
Like, I'd like to see Tyler Hill finish a game. Like, I'm not saying he hasn't already, but tonight he just tried to put too much on himself, so he had those 2 turnovers at the end of the game, and the game kind of got away from him. Like, I honestly think the Bobcats are going to be fine against the Broncos, though. Like they just got to play.
I'm with you on that one. Hey, let's go to an exciting game here. Let's go back out to Sliker County as this one is officially gone final. The Eldorado Eagles, Sonora Broncos. And Chadwick, if you like a quarterback that can throw it around the lot, maybe run around the lot a little bit, well, you're going to like this kid, Korbin Covarrubiaz. This is a highlight machine. Tony, cue this one up here. This is homecoming night for the Eldorado Eagles tonight. And check out my man Korbin, just doing his thing, handing it off. Eagles, your winner tonight. This is going to seal the deal as they win it 48-26. Hitting the O button there for the spin.
I got the actual very last play of that game, man.
You got it? Hey, I think we're cruising here.
Are we okay?
Yeah,
okay.
we're cruising. Sonora, trying to make things interesting. And kind of down the stretch, just, ran out of steam.
Manny, watch number 7 right here. Bing! Get on the ground, little boy. That's how you go and hunt some heads right there. Nice block in there for the Eldorado Eagles.
The 48-26 Eldorado, your winner tonight over the Sonora Broncos. Tony, let's come back to the desk. Let's see a WW AFCO steal. So, at least we got some good highlights from a game tonight. We saw some pretty good ones.
Yeah, we saw some good stuff. We saw a Jim Ned and Snyder game that was awesome.
Yeah, I think, and I think what we saw from Abilene High and Odessa Permian tonight, the way Abilene was able to kind of flex a little bit against Odessa Permian, because I picked Trammell was the only one amongst the office here that picked Abilene to actually beat Permian tonight. I was rolling with Mojo. I was thinking, okay, man, these guys look legit. No.
Yeah,
no.
But your boy picked the Broncos.
Okay.
So.
No.
Boy picked the Broncos.
Okay.
So, as much as I was the only one that picked that one, I took a fat L in that one. So.
Yeah, man, I'm not going to lie. I would have picked Abilene High on that one, too.
You would have picked Abilene High?
Hey, that's what we like to see.
Okay, well, it's
easy to say that on this side of the fence.
Hey, it's not my fault when y'all going to get me in on these
All right, let's
picks.
do it next week. Next week. I thought about texting you today, too. But next week, Chadwick, be ready for my text. We need the 8th person on the picks. You can join.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, we'll crack the filibuster there on the amount of picks.
All right.
All right. So exciting ball games tonight. Trammell, hey, how about one last time we go through the scores, and before we kind of call it a night, what do you say?
Yep, I'm in. Let me.
All right. So as Trammell kind of prepares that, thoughts for next week, or I know we talked a little bit about Odessa High. Realistically, do you think the Bobcats have a chance to make the playoffs? This is a real question now. This is a legit question. Do you think the Bobcats can make the playoffs after falling tonight?
I will say if the Bobcats can get healthy and get just a little bit better on defense, then yes. Like, there's nothing stopping them. If they can put some good games together and go on a little bit of a run, I don't see why they can't. Like, it's not like they've dropped 3 in a row in district. Like, they lost their opening game, and that stinks. But like, it is what it is. And I do want to say this tonight, though. This game never felt out of hand for the Bobcats. Like, It was still competitive the entire time. The last 2 weeks. I'm not going to lie to you. After the first quarter, I was like, nah, there's no way. Like, the Bobcats aren't, like, they just can't compete with these guys right now. Not at this point in the season. And, speaking of Vandergriff and Amarillo Tascosa, So, like, that was encouraging for me tonight. Like, even though that the defense was getting scored on, like they were still able to force some of these longer drives. Like, I know some of them were real quick, but like the game was competitive the entire time. Like you could argue that Friendship's defense was just as effective against the Bobcat offense that the Bobcat defense was against the Friendship offense. So I think if the Bobcats could just stay competitive, then yes, I think it's a legitimate shot that they can make the playoffs.
Okay. Trammell, before we get to scores, do you want to get a Zoom link? Maybe we can get our good friend Caleb Price on a Zoom call. Meanwhile, Ryan Chadwick here with here on Cover One Live here on SanAngeloLive.com. The Bobcats falling 49-32 to the Frenship Tigers tonight to open district play, the Little Southwest Conference play. I mean, gosh, I mean it's such a tough pill to swallow in a sense that, I mean, by losing one of these games, it kind of puts them behind the eight ball in terms of getting into the postseason. I mean, because these, I said this and I'll say it again. I mean, I'm not going to say that there were gimmies, but I mean, these are games that, they have more of an advantage to win.
They're the games that they need to win. Yeah. Let's put it that way. They needed to win them.
No, without question. So, it was a tough night for the Bobcats tonight. Third straight loss. Austin Vandergrift was the first loss of the season. Amarillo Tascosa last week. Now the Friendship Tigers. I mean, gosh, if we're saying a loss against Odessa High, I mean, that's next week.
That would be a significant morale blow for the Bobcats.
Morale blow, exactly right. So.
I will say this, though. Permian also lost, and they're one of those playoff cusp teams as well.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, that game between Mojo and Central could be made that more interesting because that could be deciding some final seeds.
We need Friendship to drop a couple in a row, but I don't see Midland Lee or Abilene High not making the playoffs, so we need a little bit of help. But
and Central, they have to go to Shotwell Stadium this season. So I mean, say what you want about Abilene High, and we railed on them for a while, after losing, to Abilene Cooper. And just kind of not looking very polished at that point. But, man.
It looks like they found themselves.
Yeah, so. I'd say so. Meanwhile, let's go to our good friend Caleb Price tonight, who is in Eldorado. He saw some fireworks. Wasn't even anything in the sky. It's just the Covarrubiaz kid just going off. Caleb, let's bring in Caleb Price into this. Caleb Price, thank you so much for joining us tonight. My man, you were boots on the ground for us for this game tonight. 48-26, Eldorado, your winner over Sonora. Tell me, how much fun was it watching the Covarrubiaz kid?
Can you hear us, Caleb? Caleb, do you hear us?
Okay, we're waiting some.
Hello?
We're kind of taking in some technical difficulties there.
Can you hear me?
We'll see if we can't get him here in just a bit. But yeah, so.
Can you hear me, Caleb? You gotta keep going.
Okay. Alrighty. In the meantime, we'll wait and see if we can't get Caleb Price on the horn here via Zoom call there from Schleicher County.
Can you hear me now?
If there's
You can't hear me?
we going back to him, Trammell? All right, so we welcome Caleb Price into the program now as the Sonora Broncos fall to the Eldorado Eagles 48-26. Caleb, how exciting was it watching the Covarrubiaz QB1 tonight?
Hey, you guys. Headed back, or not back, on my way to Dallas, actually. But anyway, that was a very nice game. Ruben, I'm not even going to try to pronounce his last name.
Corbin Covarrubiaz.
He was a lot like the Central Air Raid off quarterbacks that Coach Long John took a part in coaching at Central back in the Brent Davis eras at Central. So it was really nice to see that. A lot of similarities. He played a lot of backyard football. Yeah, there were times when he was forced to scramble and would make a play. I don't know if you guys remember that, but yeah, a lot of good stuff from him.
Yeah. how refreshing was it to see, you know, the spread offense in a Class 2A level being executed at you know, in that form and fashion there?
It was very nostalgic, I will say. Okay, so the whole game as a whole, in the beginning, like in the first half, I would say Sonora ran the ball relatively well with ease. They were running a triple option offense. And it was very interesting because they went back and they made halftime adjustments similar, you know, to what they were able to do when John Long was at Central, right? Mm-hmm. They came back and they were able to tame their offense. And then, of course, offensively, airing out the ball any which way you can think of, any play call, good stuff.
Caleb, we've kind of sent you all over West Texas this season. The last time we checked, I mean, you were in Tuscola. I mean, we've sent you here, we've sent you there. If you had to compare a team, I mean, you saw a really good Jim Ned team play against Cisco. This Eldorado team. Last question: these teams here, how much of a contender does Eldorado look like? You know, heading down the stretch of the season.
They've got some contenders. So far, from what I've seen, everybody runs the ball, right? More than pass the ball. This Eldorado offense, they look like they can do anything. Their running back got injured in the first half. He came back in the second half, but they didn't really run the ball. And I will say, if you can pass the ball, as anybody knows in high school football especially, that just creates a lot of opportunities. It's hard to stop an offense that is efficient at passing the ball to any player and multiple players. So I think they're a contender, and their ability to go back in there at the second half and make halftime adjustments, that will prove to be invaluable coming up because they'll need it when it gets more competitive, for sure.
All righty, Caleb Price, our boots on the ground there in Eldorado as the Eagles defeat the Sonora Broncos 48-26. Caleb, we appreciate you, sir. Safe travels to Dallas. I know you're going to go check out that Cowboys-Eagles game this weekend, aren't you?
Oh, yeah, my brother's birthday present from my mom, not me. But, yeah, we're going to go check out that game. Should be interesting. Thank you.
Yeah. All right, well, safe travels, my man. We'll see you next week.
See you next week.
All right, Caleb Price. Man, that's – if you haven't had a chance to see the Covarrubiaz kid, he's fun to watch.
Electric.
He reminds me and Caleb pointed it out, he reminds me of a Cal Vincent – a la the 2016 San Angelo Central Bobcats, built the very same way, can release it on a dime and quick as ever. I think, you know, and Trammell and I talked about this tonight, that it's going to be weird looking at the Eagles next week or next season when there's not a Covarrubiaz back there. Right. But right now we just got to enjoy for what it is. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, for the past 4 years, there's been a Covarrubiaz back there. So, yeah, good stuff tonight from him. Thank you, Caleb. Thank you, everyone, or all of our boots on the ground, wherever they've been, all over West Texas. So, as we get ready to wrap up the show, Trammell, you want to give us one last look at the scoreboard here?
Let's do it.
All righty.
Remember, this is the San Angelo Live Scoreboard brought to you by Deersky and Deersky Realtors, the real estate professionals of Texas. You can see them at www.sanangelolive.com/scores. All right, so Eden won tonight, 76-28. Remember, all these are final, so I'm going to kind of go through these pretty quick. All right, Cross Plains and Miles, 24-20. That will be updated a little bit later. Goldthwaite and Cristobal 35, Goldthwaite 21. Early beat Grape Creek 49-0. Merkel beat Kahoma 37-14. Alpine against Kermit 28-14. That's a third quarter score. Crane and Denver City is 9-7. Crane. Coleman, Colorado City 56-7. Archer City against Stanford 29-14. Archer City. Haskell and Hamlin 25-0. Haskell. Roscoe New Home 44-6. Roscoe. Harper versus Menard 32-0. Harper. Forsan Reagan County 34-0. Forsan. Van Horn Garden City 62-32. Garden City. Cisco Comanche 21-7. Cisco. Hawley Bangs 54-0. Hawley. Post Slayton 19-12. Post. Eldorado Sonora. That actually was a final score of about 49 or 48-26. 48-26. That one's final. Mason Junction 35-0 Mason. Strawn Westbrook 52-40 Strawn. Borden County Water Valley 54-22 Water Valley. Paint Rock versus Zephyr. Paint Rock 28-7. Paint Rock versus Panther Creek versus Very Best 50-34. Let me slow down 1 second. Albany versus Anson 48-2 in the third quarter. Rotan, Robert Lee, 55-6. Rotan. Snyder, Jim Ned, 22-15. Jim Ned. San Angelo Central, Frenship, 49-32. Frenship. Big Spring, Clint, 42-16. Big Spring. Holiday, Breckenridge, 34-12. Holiday. South Lake Carroll, Byron Nelson, 68-7. South Lake Carroll. Abilene Wiley versus Brownwood, 49-21. Abilene Wiley. Lakeview versus Brownfield. The Chiefs got their first win of the season tonight, Chadwick, 35-0 against the Cubs.
Talking about.
All right, Midland Greenwood versus Canyon, 38-19 Canyon. Pecos Fort Stockton, 42-0 Fort Stockton. Arlington Martin, 65-17 Arlington Martin. Midland versus Odessa, 49-28 Midland. Odessa Permian, Abilene, 42-21 Abilene High. Amarillo Caprock versus Amarillo High, 34-3 Amarillo High. And that one, Canyon Randall versus Dumas, 38-19 Canyon Randall. Pampa Levelland, 53-6 Pampa. Hereford Plainview, 34-28 Hereford. TLCA versus Stanton, 46-13 Stanton. Lubbock Monterey versus Lubbock High, 62-7 Lubbock Monterey. Mansfield versus DeSoto, 42-7. Jim Hanks versus Lubbock Cooper, 48-7 Lubbock Cooper. Duncanville Waco Midway, 76-0 Duncanville.
Good gosh.
Madison versus Galena Park North Shore, 1 point ball game. Manny, Galena Park North Shore, 42-41. Abilene Cooper, Granbury, 56-34 Abilene Cooper. Clyde versus Sweetwater, 42-21 Sweetwater. Winners Hico, 48-7 Winners. Dublin San Saba, 31-17 Dublin. Ballinger Lano, 28-21 Ballinger. And that one will be updated. A lot of these will also co-final throughout the night. Remember, this is the San Angelo Live Scoreboard, brought to you by Deersky and Deersky Realtors, the real estate professionals of Texas.
Whether it's a handyman's dream, a dream home, or perhaps a home on the range, Deersky and Deersky can help you find or sell your next home. After all, everything we touch turns to sold. Deersky and Deersky Realtors, the real estate professionals of Texas. Whether it's a handyman's dream, a dream home, or perhaps a home on the range.
Thanks to those fine folks, the real estate professionals of Texas. As we get ready to wrap this show up, Chadwick, final thoughts of the night as we head into week 6 of the Texas high school football season.
Let's look for the Bobcats to play a little bit better next week. Let's practice some fundamentals and get ready to play the Broncos. They need a win. Coach Cray needs to get his first district win, and the Bobcats just need to play overall better. I'm still on their side 100%, and I'm picking them next week, okay?
Yeah, all righty. Trammell, final thoughts of the night?
My final thoughts, let me see. 0 for 2, 0 for 3, 0 for 4. I'm telling you, my picks weren't as good as I thought. But the one thing I did get right that no one else can say that they did, I had the Warbirds winning. Abilene High, they took it on Mojo, and they beat them tonight. And I'll say that has to be the pick of the night.
Yeah, I think so too. I'd agree with that, Trammell. I'll give credit where credit is due with that. That's for sure. I think we saw a new contender in the Little Southwest Conference tonight, and that is the Abilene High Eagles. It'll be interesting whenever they get together with Midland Legacy, because Abilene High, I mean, they got taken out pretty much to the woodshed by Amarillo Tascosa.
Oh, yeah.
Midland Legacy, I mean, they went toe-to-toe with Tascosa and Arlington Martin. So, I mean, these games of averages, we're going to see them kind of, I mean, they're going to come. They're going to come pretty quick.
Yeah, I will say we still have yet to see Central play their best game of the season. So
I would agree with that. So, hey, big thanks to Jacoby Swearington out at Odessa Ratliff Stadium, Isaiah Garza over in Midland, James Bellini out in Snyder, Caleb Price down in Eldorado, of course, our very own Joe Hyde giving us great video of our San Angelo Central Bobcats tonight. Trammell throwing a plug in there. And of course, our great scorekeepers, Sonia Ramirez Munoz, Yanis Green, our director, Tony Garcia, this guy, Ryan Chadwick. You can catch his write-up of the Bobcats coming up later tonight on SanAngeloLive.com. And of course, for Matt Trammell, myself, Manny Diaz.
Oh, yeah.
It's been fun. It's been real. Week 5 is officially in the books. See you next week in Week 6. Good night. God bless. Have a good weekend.
See you guys.
Who say they want it? Who say they ready? See, you might not like it, but you gon' respect it, cause this is West Texas. Who say they want it? Who say they ready? Hey, coach, they might